This is Jocko podcast number 501 with Carrie Helton and me, Jocko Willink. Good evening, Carrie.
Good evening.
Once we arrived at Camp Ramadi in June, everyone could tell we were not in the north anymore. Mortar attacks occurred daily, and we were located right against the enemy-held parts of the city. I said that correctly. The enemy controlled over 75% of the city, from government buildings to hospitals and neighborhoods. However, we held the edge of the east and the west sides of town. We had a transition of authority scheduled around June 2006 from their brigade to ours. We would officially assume control of the operation, and they would go home. The plan was set. On the night of the turnover of authority, our brigade would attack the city. We would simply push from east and west and meet in the middle, no matter how long that took. Our unit was again attached to another battalion, and we were still serving conventional roles. But as a bonus, we would be in a close relationship with SEAL Team 3 Task Unit Bruiser and begin planning for our small kill team operations. We were a specialized unit within our brigade. If there was something another unit couldn't do, an area they wouldn't go in, or a sniper they couldn't kill, they called us. We were embedded with the asymmetric warfare group personnel who helped us develop small kill team tactics, sensitive site exploitation procedures, and mission analysis techniques. We partnered with the Navy SEAL Team Task Unit Bruiser and built lifelong friendships with them as we fought against the enemy. And that right there is a little excerpt from a book called Chop That Shit Up, which is by retired Command Sergeant Major Dan Pinion. And Dan was the first sergeant of the Brigade Recon Troop in Ramadi. Task Unit Bruiser, we worked alongside them a ton. And they were a small group of well-trained, well-led soldiers, and they were moved around the battlefield from hot spot to hot spot, wherever the fighting was most intense. Whoever needed support, they were sent. And because of this troop, the Brigade Recon Troop, suffered the highest casualties of any company-sized unit in Ramadi. And we covered some of this, and we reviewed the book, Chop That Shit Up, with Dan Pinion himself on podcast 482. But before we hit record on that, Dan had brought one of his guys down, one of his buddies, and I had a chance to talk briefly with Rob Black, who was Dan's combat medic in Ramadi, who did one tour in the Army, and that one tour put him on the ground in Ramadi in that Brigade Recon Troop. And he got out of the Army. He's now a firefighter. He's a paramedic out here in California. And meeting Rob, I asked him if he wanted to come and share his experiences in the Army on a podcast. He was a young frontline medic, first tour in Iraq, and he saw intense combat on a day-to-day basis in the worst parts of the city against a determined enemy. And thankfully, Rob agreed to come on and talk about his experiences before, during, and after his time at war, his successes, and his struggles, and how he got through them. Rob, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it.
Hello. Wow, what an intro. Good Lord.
Got the day off from firefighting, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Right on, man.
Luckily on vacation this week.
That's a good deal. Firefighting's kind of cool when it comes to that, right?
I love it.
Is it like that across the whole country? I know in California, it's like you work 24 hours, then you get 3 days off, then you work 24 hours, then you get 3. They get time off.
Yes. So
does everybody do it that way?
No. So there's different like schedules and shift patterns. The department I work for, we're currently on an 11-day work period. It's about to go to a possibly 10-day work period, and it's kind of funky. So we used to do 72-hour shifts. So it used to be 3 days on, 4 days off. And with our union and our collective bargaining, it's gotten cut down significantly because like the mental health issues, that's been at the forefront.
Wait, you do 72 hours straight?
Yes. So crazy, huh?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a schedule it's been around since like the 1970s. So now with like modernization, population growth, call volume, they take into account all that data and everything. And they're like, okay, that's like kind of way too long. So
Yeah, because you don't get to necessarily sleep, right?
yeah, depending on where you work. Like I work primarily in the city of Moreno Valley, so it's a pretty large city. I love it there. I've been there since 2014, and I was a firefighter there, paramedic there, and now I'm an engineer there. I was fortunate enough to go back there. But yeah, 3 days long, it can be rough at times. Like you really have to like truly depend on each other, especially when it's like big incident happens, just endless calls. But like that's what's so fun about it is just it's never ending. And that's what I love about the job, like in its totality, is that you never go into work and it's the same thing. Like you could have a plan. Like last shift we were doing, like we had to redo the stickers on the ladders, and then you go into work and then all of a sudden the tones go off, then you're on a rolled over car on the freeway, something like that. Like, I love it. It's the best job in the world because it's never the same thing. Because I don't know what I'd do at a desk. It's
right on.
Yeah. So yeah, but the schedule patterns do change depending on department, what their call volume is, and it's crazy that like 65% of the nation is volunteer firefighters too. So in California, we're paid because we live in Southern California, like obviously like a geographical paradise, right? But the Great Basin causes a lot of these like horrific winds that just drive the fire season crazy because it causes those Santa Anas with the wind pressure changes, and we just get those volatile winds. We just happen to live in that area of the country where wildfires run crazy.
Yeah, we do.
But where else would you rather live though?
Nowhere.
Yeah, because you can go to the mountains, the beach, everywhere. I love it down here.
Yep, California's epic. Well, we'll get into some of that firefighting stuff, but let's get a little bit. I want to just get a little bit of background on you. So, you grew up in California, right?
Yes, sir.
What was that all about?
Grew up in Buena Park, so right next to Knott's Berry Farm. That was actually like my first job.
What'd you do there?
I worked at Lucy's Lunchbox, and then I worked at Edison in Soak City, like the water park, during the summers, and I did food service. So it was my very first job. My mom took me over there, dropped me off. I did like a little interview. They're like, "Oh, you're hired."
Were you like 16?
Yeah, I was 16. So it was really fun. It was good for like the times. I actually still talked to a couple of guys that I worked there with, but for a 16-year-old, it was great. So it was a lot of fun.
And what'd your parents do?
My mom's a bus driver, so she worked for OCTA for well over 30 years, I believe, like 33 years. So she like instilled in me like the work ethic. She'd get up 3 a.m, go drive her route, come back, pick me up from school. Always there. My dad worked for Food for Less as like a distribution. I believe he did like truck distribution, and he bounced when I was 8. So one day he came in and said, "I'm going to go live with Uncle Dan for a little bit." I didn't understand like what that meant. I have a daughter who's 7 now, so now it's starting to hit me like, holy crap, like that was kind of like the age, like her birthday is in a couple months, and my dad came in and said, "I'm going to go live with Uncle Dan for a little bit." And I said, "Okay, well, I'll see you later," because I didn't understand what that meant as a child. And he left for a year, didn't call, didn't write. I asked where he was on my birthday. My mom's like, "I don't know, I haven't heard from him." And like, give all credit to my mom, like she kind of shielded us from all of that crap that we didn't need to know.
Yeah, that's legit.
Fighting that battle for like myself and my sister, like, because I had no idea what was going on. I didn't understand like why my dad wasn't around, and little did I know like that caused and we can get into it a little later on, like my dad leaving was like the seed that was planted, that why the trauma that I went through in Iraq was like so horrific, because it like planted the seed of like abandonment. So like when my friends passed away in the military, like it dug up all those old feelings from when I was a child and developing, and it caused a lot of problems.
But when you're 8, you're just like, oh, well, where was Dad coming back tomorrow?
I was playing Game Boy, and I knew my Uncle Dan, like just from holidays and stuff, but like we just had this like very estranged relationship. Like I was growing up, it was like a vicious court battle. I remember they wanted me and my sister to testify, and my mom stopped it. She's like, absolutely not. Like she was great. She protected us from everything. Like a great role model, instilled the work ethic, but then he would get me and my sister every 2 weeks. But like our relationship like wasn't there. Like I collected baseball cards and coins when I was a kid. Like I told you, like, I'm a dork. But like I collected like baseball cards, and he was still buying me that when I was like 14. I was like, Dad, I'm not even into this anymore. It was just, he went from like being my father who was always around to like this just man that I now had to go with every 2 weeks. And it was just, I don't know, we kind of like grew apart.
So what were you into in like school and whatnot?
So I played football at halftime. I was in the band. So I went to school in La Palma, California. I went to Kennedy High School.
Right on.
I was in the drum line. So, yeah. So it started in 4th grade. My mom dropped me off one day. I said I wanted to play drums and just took off from there.
Did you play like rock and roll as well?
Oh, yeah. So I had a drum set. One of my best friends, Sean, he played guitar. So I'd go on like tabcrawler.com and kind of taught myself how to play guitar and bass. Was I any good? Probably not. Absolutely not. I could like fiddle around and do some power chords, but I was super, super into band.
What kind of music did you like?
So me and my wife just went to Warped Tour this last weekend.
Jack. Nice.
So that kind of like encompasses like the style of music that I really like Rise Against, Seosin, Pennywise. We saw Anne Berlin. They were incredible. Like, it was great. State champs, like just pop punk. I think like A Day to Remember would be like my ideal band, where I'm like the super hard breakdowns, like drop D guitar, like chugging breakdowns, and then super poppy choruses like I miss her. I love it. That's like the best style. But yeah, so I had a drum set, tried to start a couple bands in high school. It's just trying to get a bunch of 16, 17-year-olds to like get on the same page.
Did you name any of the bands?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Because I had bands growing up, and we would change our name like every couple months.
What'd you play?
I played bass, guitar, and sang, and none of those very well. In fact, for all of them pretty bad. You can kind of get away with bass, and probably one of the most controversial things that I've ever done online was I said that if you can play guitar, you can play bass, right?
No.
Yeah, I know people freaked out then, but
No.
let me say this: if you can play guitar, you can play bass. I mean, you can play bass. You might not be able to play bass, not like Geezer Butler or anything, but you can play bass. You can play the bass line. It's not that hard to play a simple bass line, which is what I did. I played a simple bass line and sang, and I always joke we made more like band T-shirts. Because we'd always make T-shirts for our bands. We made more band T-shirts than we made songs. I think I was just really stoked about the idea of just being in a band.
So the big question is, did you pluck or did you use a pick?
Both.
You did both?
Yeah. It was kind of, it's, I mean, again, I just went and saw Black Sabbath final show ever.
Oh.
And, just watching Geezer Butler, who's always been, Black Sabbath's my favorite band of all time, and watching Geezer Butler play, like you couldn't imagine doing what he's doing with a pick. It just not happening. He's just so freaking insane on the
like
bass.
Flea.
Yeah,
Like
just
it's
hammering.
incredible what they do.
But yeah, we never,
We're gonna have to hear some vocals.
Yeah, just basically just picture me, yelling like an idiot. That's pretty much the vocals. We had, so my buddy, he had because we went to the studio one time and we laid down we made a bunch of songs, and my buddy Elgin has the master like reel to reel tapes.
Like the 4-track?
I don't know how many track. I think it might have been 8-track, but it was a big reel to reel thing.
Old school.
And I was like, bro, we got to get that. We got to get the music off of it. Cause there was a couple.
Oh, for sure.
Quite frankly, there's a couple bangers on there.
Yeah?
Son. Couple bangers
Couple
on
head
there.
nodders.
K-Dog, you'd be into it. There was a song that I wrote called Myself Strong, which was pretty legit. But he brought him to like the most forensic sort of recovery place, and they're like, "Hey, we can't get anything off these, so it's all lost." Yeah, it's all lost, which is very sad.
Do you still remember the songs though? Like
I do. I can. Yeah. Between the two of us, we could probably put them back together.
Yeah. So it's just you and your buddies jamming.
Yeah, jamming.
Isn't that the best though?
It is
like
the
just
best,
hanging out and like bringing up like, hey, let's just do a couple covers.
Yeah.
And then it starts from there, and then you try and make your own. You're like, wow, this is extremely hard.
Dude, I'm the opposite. Well, so I still play. Like I have my buddy's garage. He has like a little mini studio in his garage. We call it the Hole. And we still go in there and jam.
Oh, that's right.
And the funny thing is we joke because we don't play hardly any covers ever, and we just play 33-minute freaking just crazy songs that we only play one time ever. So
it's like the Doors.
Yeah, it's like the Doors. Yeah, we're like a freaking crazy jam band.
Yeah,
but
that's rad.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's
cool.
Freaking huge stress reliever too.
Yeah,
music is great.
Yeah,
it just takes you into another place.
Do you still play drums?
No. So like, I don't know. Like I just lost interest in it one time, which is weird, right?
That is weird.
So like,
I think you need to get them back, dude. Especially one of those digital kits that you can put on headphones.
I know. I was just talking to my wife about that. You could buy like the digital ones, do headphones, make hardly any noise.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I know. I was super into music, and then I just kind of like lost it. I don't know.
So at what point did you start thinking about joining the military?
So I was in high school in 2003. I graduated in June of 2003, and that's when the invasion started. It was March of 2003, correct? When the invasion started. So my uncle was a paratrooper in Vietnam. He was in the 173rd Airborne. And so I was talking to him, and it just came up. He's like, well, what are you going to do? I was like, God, I don't know. Like, all my buddies are going to go to Cypress College. Like, I think that's a good idea. He's like, I think it's your time.
Damn.
And I was like, well, shit, like, you have a lot of problems, Uncle Jack. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want to be like you. Like, and he's passed away now, but him and I have always had we had a very interesting relationship.
Is this your mom's brother?
My mom's brother.
Got it.
So she saw him coming home from Vietnam. And when I told her that, hey, I talked to Uncle Jack, he thinks it's a good idea for me to join. And this is when, like, you turn on the TV and it's like the invasion, we are invading Iraq. Like, we've reached Baghdad. They're pulling down Saddam's, the big statue, like the big statue. She's like, no, go to college. I will pay whatever it costs for you to not go. And then for some reason I was like, okay, now I'm going. I was like, I need to do this, like, for myself. And especially, like, I told some of my friends and, like, people in high school, I was like, hey, I'm thinking about joining. And they laughed. They're like, you're going to go? I'm like, yeah, man. Like, what does that mean? Like, so it was kind of like, I don't know. It kind of, like, inspired me to, like, really want to do it. And I had an interest in medical. I knew I wanted to do something medical. I just didn't know what. Like, I watched Saving Private Ryan, and I really, like, connected with, like, Wade. Like, he was the medic with the Rangers that went through, and he always seemed like the calm, cool, collected, like, took care of everyone, like, hey, give us a fighting chance. Like, I love that scene. And so when I went around to the recruiters, I went to the Navy, and they said, we can only promise you, and I'm not sure how the Navy works, but I believe it was a branch, like, we could offer you, like, medical branch, but whatever is open at that time, then you'd be placed there. Like, if they needed x-ray techs at the end of basic training, then you'd go do x-ray or dental or whatever. And then the Army was like, no, you will be a medic. I was like, okay, perfect. So that was like my decision point, and I made like a little on my cell phone, like a little thing, like 2 weeks after I graduated high school, I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to either join or I'm going to sign up for college. And I made the decision, talked to my uncle one more time. He showed me all his medals, and then I was kind of like, this is going to sound really lame, but like my dad left, and so I looked up to my uncle, and he's like showing me his medals, and he was kind of like impromptu father figure in a way, I guess, striving for like his approval. And I was like, hey man, like, will you go with me to the recruiter, talk to the recruiter? And he was like, I'd never seen him interact with me that way. And I was like, holy shit, like, I think I'm getting this guy's approval. And I joined, and then I went off to Fort Sill, Oklahoma for basic, and then went to
How long did it take you to, once you signed up, how long did you wait around for before you went?
So I signed up in 2 weeks after high school, so probably early July, and I left October 9th for basic training, because they had like the delayed entry program.
And was your mom completely freaking out at this point?
Pissed. Pissed. She's like, why are you doing, like, there's a war, right? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm probably not going to go.
And what did you say you had for siblings?
One sister.
Is she older or younger?
Older. She's her name's Mary, so she's 5 years older.
And what was she saying?
She didn't really.
Whatever.
Yeah, she was kind of like just supportive. Mm-hmm. She was very supportive.
And so you go out to Fort Sill. How was boot camp? Did you regret your decision, or were you into it?
That was my first time on a plane.
Damn.
I had like that was my life in Orange County. Like I worked at Knott's Berry Farm. Like my biggest concern was like if the froyo machine was broken. Like I was like boysenberry gang. Like just it was. I mean, I was born on third base. I didn't hit a triple. Like I know that. You know what I mean? Like I was very, very fortunate. Like the life that I had and my upbringing. Like I know that. And so that was my first time getting on a plane, going to Fort Sill. And I remember it was just so flat, mm-hmm. like, cause that's where the artillery is. Like that's home of the artillery, like king of the battle. It's just flat, windy. And I do remember like, the in processing, I was still like, oh, this is kind of weird. I'm not like sure what I'm doing. But the second day of like boot camp, we were like sitting down for the PT test, and we all had we had these colored vests on. And I remember sitting down, and you had to turn around so you couldn't watch the guy that was going, and you had to put your head between your knees so you couldn't watch. So they didn't want anyone seeing. And that's when I had that like thought of like, what the hell am I doing? Like, cause it is like 5 a.m. like, and we're out here doing a PT test. Like I was just in band, like not that long ago, you know, like I could get college paid for, and now like they're telling me I get a GI Bill so I can go to college after. Like this is kind of crappy, man. And then it breaks you down so much to realize that you're like nothing, and you have to work as like a team to succeed. Because regardless of what people say, group punishment works. Mm-hmm. Like if you do not fall in line with what the platoon's doing, like you're all going to pay for it. And it's great. And then I went to medic school at Fort Sam Houston, Texas. That was 16 weeks.
And how was that medic school? Now that you're a paramedic, when you look back, how good was your training? Like in the SEAL teams, the medics in the SEAL teams, they get freaking awesome training. Like it is outstanding. I want to say it's over a year long.
That's insane.
And they get an incredible amount. They do they go into like emergency rooms and work on people. They get live tissue training all the time. It's crazy the amount of training they get. How was your training?
So the first 8 weeks is National Registry EMT training. So you're an EMT basic. So you actually, the first 8 weeks is like the in processing of EMT school. So you're getting up to a national standard of training. The second 8 weeks is military training, like military medicine, like how to just all the tips and tricks. You're basically just a trauma machine. So to correlate that on the outside was kind of hard, because usually, and for the most part in the military, everyone's healthy. Like nobody has like seizure problems, heart problems, nothing like that. So when I went to paramedic school, the trauma aspect was easy when I was doing that portion of it. But in paramedicine, that's so like very little of like what you need to know to be a paramedic. It's very sick geriatric patients with chest pain, diabetics, seizures, all these, like all the pathophysiology, like that I had to learn, all the cardiology, the pharmacology, like it was all new. So I do remember meeting up with the SEAL team medics a couple of times. We just like looked at each other's aid bags. And I believe one dude was a sniper too. He's like, I'm the medic and the sniper.
Yeah,
like,
we actually, believe it or not, had a couple guys that were medics and snipers.
I remember rapping with him like during one of the briefings, because we went to your guys' one of your briefings. We stood on the outside. I was still blown away that you guys were like on a first name basis, because I was like, I don't even know why I'm in this room for one, because we're doing outer cordon for you guys, like for you guys to go in and do the work. Like we're going to hang out on the outside while you guys go take care of that. But we were all briefing in there, and you guys are just calling each other by your first name. So like calm, cool, collected. And like, it was just so like well orchestrated. It was like the Chick-fil-A drive-through. You guys are just like so smooth, like, and operationally sound. I was like, holy crap. Like, I don't know. I was just blown away with like how smooth it went. Like the briefing down to like the entire operation, like hearing the SEAL teams on the radio, there was no inflection in the voice. It was calm, cool, collected. And I remember, like, I believe we talked about it before, like Cop Falcon. Like, there were 3 like IA injured.
Yeah.
And the radio traffic was just like, hey, we have 3 injured.
Yep.
We're going to exfil. And it's like, dude, these guys are machines.
Yeah. Yep. We had a good crew. And I'm thinking about the sniper medics that you're talking about right now.
It was one guy that I talked, I believe he's like an Asian guy.
Yeah. That's Johnny Kim, that's
like the astronaut, right?
The astronaut.
So
yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw like a news article and I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure I met that dude.
You did.
Because him and I were sitting, we were outside just going over like the breakout session after the brief. And I was like, hey, what do you carry in that thing? And he was showing me like his aid bag and just rapping with him. And I looked at his weapon. I'm like, dude, that's a gnarly weapon. He's like, yeah, I'm a sniper too. I'm like, yeah. And I heard like now he's a freaking astronaut. Like,
yeah. And this is after he's a doctor too. He went to Harvard Medical School afterwards.
On.
So yeah, that's Johnny Kim.
One upper, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an awesome guy. And actually one of the other snipers in that platoon was also a corpsman. It was Kevin Lace. Dauber's his nickname, but he was another medic sniper, which is definitely a weird.
That's crazy.
It's a little bit rare. It doesn't happen a lot. The fact that we had 13 snipers in my task unit, which was a lot of that. That's normally like maybe you'd have 5 or 6 maybe, but we had 13. It was, again, like when you have corpsmen that are snipers, 2 of your medics are snipers. That's random.
Insane.
Yeah, just random.
That's overkill.
But so when you're in medic school, rewinding a little bit back to going to medic school, do you feel like you got pretty good training there?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you were ready to rock?
You're basically like just a trauma machine. So one of like the final drills is you have to be able to treat 4 critical patients with 1 aid bag. And it's kind of cool. Like they set up like loud speakers and I have to go in, they have like flashing lights. It's simulating like a battlefield. And then you have to like crawl over to like the casualties, assess them, like tourniquets, bleeding control, say like what your interventions would be. And you have to treat 4 critically wounded patients to pass. So I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
The training that I got. And then I got orders to go to Friedberg, Germany. That's where Elvis was stationed.
Oh, that's right.
He was in the military, Ray Barracks.
There you go. Freaking legit. So you show up. How's it when you show up there?
Oh, it was good. I was actually put in the 501st Forward Support Battalion because the Brigade Reconnaissance does not have a medic assigned to them until they deploy. God. So I was actually in an aid station unit until we deployed.
And did they tell you, hey, once we deploy, you're going to go into the Brigade Recon Troop?
No. So that was kind of a funny story. We did all this training like up until like we knew we were going because 1st Armored Division deployed in 2003 in the initial. They came back in 2004. So we were slated to go back in 2006. So we knew we were going in January of 06. I was in the support battalion. So all of my training was geared towards like casualty receiving.
So like being in Charlie Med?
Yeah, Charlie. So I was in Charlie Med. So in a way, it worked out to my benefit because I knew all the doctors, all the PAs. I still keep in contact with some of those people. But I was in Charlie Med. And before we deployed, I did a couple operations with Dan and for the training. And when BRT requested a medic, they requested me. So I got called into my CO's office. They're like, hey, you're being reassigned. You have orders to go with BRT. And this was like right before the deployment. So I got those orders before we went on 2 weeks of leave before we were going to deploy. So I got the orders, did Christmas, and we were deploying like 2 weeks after January.
So how did you get caught up on like your soldiering skills?
I didn't. So that's what was wild is I did a couple I was attached as the medic to Brigade Reconnaissance for some like training stuff. But then when I got assigned to them, I was kind of like on the outside. I'm like, what do you guys do here? Like, what's a cavalry scout? So I was like way behind the learning curve. So I looked up like their job description, what they actually do. I'm telling you, like I was like way behind. And little did I know that they were on like the forefront of like, hey, we like go into like gnarly shit. It was a huge culture shock, not only like fitting in with all those guys, because I went from being in platoons in a company like co-ed, so like with women. And then I got to BRT, and I remember like doing PT, like one of the first times I had dirt on my pants, and I just got lit up by the XO. He's like, I don't know who the fuck you think you are. We don't do that shit around here. Like, your stuff will be clean and you'll be wired tight. I'm like, okay, this is fucking game time. Like, shit needs to be wired tight. So I kind of got like a little free pass because I was a medic. But yeah, I tried to learn their job to the best of my ability. The guys were great on like training. Every time they were doing training, I'd jump in, be like, hey, like, what are you guys doing? They noticed that. So like later on in the deployment, when guys were going home on leave, like they had me be a driver. And this was when we got there, we landed in Talifar, and then
that's where you guys kicked off deployment, was in Talifar.
That's what
a little background. So Talifar, what was it? The 3rd ACR had been up there with Colonel at the time, McMaster, H.R. McMaster, and they had used the counterinsurgency strategy up in Talifar, and it had worked really well. And so this brigade that was up there that took their place, the 11 AD, when they got up there, there was not a lot going on in a good way, because what McMaster and 3rd ACR had done had settled out the insurgency, and that then freed up the 11 AD to go to the other area that needed to be suppressed, which was Ramadi.
Yeah, we were up there for I think approximately 4 months, and then we got the order to start we pack everything up, and we're going to Ramadi.
Did you feel like you got like a little more up to speed while you were up there as far as your soldiering skills?
It gave me that time that I needed to like learn who they are, what they did, how they operate. Like, this is what a cavalry scout is, and this is what we need from you. Like, because being the medic, you're kind of like those extra hands if need be, but also like I wanted them to rely on me. Like I didn't want to just be an observer. Like I wanted to be part of like the team. Yeah. Because I wanted to help as well. So it gave me that time to watch their training, go through like what they do, what they actually do, like everything, radios, mapping, all of that. Like, so it gave me that time to kind of step up and kind of learn their job in a way.
And Dan Pinion, like, you know, he was on the podcast, what was it, a couple months ago, and you see Dan Pinion, you know, he looks like he looks like a normal guy now, you know, I mean, he's just a normal guy, like we all look like normal guys, and he looks like a normal guy. Bro, back in the day, like when he he was a freaking beast.
Hard ass.
Like he was kind of like a what do they call it? They call it central casting. Like he was straight out of central casting for like first platoon first sergeant or troop first sergeant. He was just a big stud, like angry looking dude, and just a beast. And that was your leader.
Yes, absolutely. So that's what. Yeah. Very well said. I'm not even sure what to say to that. But yeah, it's like that was our leader, and it was due to the leader, and we're like not trying to jump forward too much, but like the guys I was with, like Sergeant Marco, Sergeant Gonzalez, Sergeant Garcia, like that whole leadership core like kept us alive, because when we got orders to go to Iraq, I got bought into that, like hearts and minds. Like, we're going over there to like, you know, help people, and being a medic, I'll be like, oh yeah, I can get to like help the community and do like community medicine. And those guys had already deployed. Like, they've been there, done that. I believe Sergeant Marco, he was in one of the ACRs that like pushed up like guys on their second deployment. And I was kind of like naive to the whole thing. And I remember sitting there one night, like we would have to pull guard duty in Biaj. And that's where we were stationed, was Biaj, Iraq. It was like just on the outer skirts near the Syrian border. We'd do missions to the Syrian border to see if they were bringing arms in or anything like that. But nothing ever happened more than like a couple mortar attacks. And I was just like dying to get in combat, because you're hearing these stories of like, oh dude, when we were in the shit and this, my medic's so good. Oh, the medic that I had before did this, the medic before like did that. And I'm like, dude, I can do that too. Like, you know what I mean? Like jealous girlfriend, like, dude, hey guys, like I'm right here. And you never can totally prepare for combat, like, because instinctually, like the first time I was ever shot, I didn't even know what happened, because I was standing on a wall at Cop Grant. I was standing on a wall, and a couple shots hit like the cinder block and brick wall in front of me, and it shot up all the debris, and I dropped to the ground. And this is like, my brain is off. I have no clue what's going on. I dropped down, and Sergeant Gonzalez ran over to me. He's like, "Where are you hit at?" Because he thought I got shot because I dropped down. And I said, "What's happening?" And he's like, "We're getting fucking shot at. Are you hit?" And I said, "I think I'm good." And he checked me. And he's like, "Fire back." I remember I raised my rifle up. I was like, "I don't see anything." He's like, "Just fucking fire at anything." And I just shot at a building. Like I chose a building. I'm like, oh, boom, boom. And then I was like, oh shit, like I just got shot at. Like my brain just could not process what was happening.
How old are you at this point?
Like I just turned 21. Like I had my 21st birthday 2 weeks before we deployed. Shit. So like I was home on leave for like Christmas leave, and then 21 years old, like we got shipped out. So that was like at Cop Grant, got shot. I was like, dude, I have no clue. And then after that, you're like kind of good. You're like, oh shit, like that's what rounds sound like when they're being shot at you. And like, what movie is it? Like The Crack and the Whiz. Like the crack is like super close. The whiz means it's like near you, and you get used to like hearing it. You're like, oh shit, that's not even close to us. That's not even near us. But like you never know how you're going to react or what you're going to do, or even prepare to be shot at or even fire back. Like it's a life altering experience.
When you rolled down from Talifar down to Ramadi, what was it like? Was it like April or May or something like that?
I believe it was May.
And like, you've been mortared a few times up there, but nothing crazy. At what point did you recognize like the seriousness of Ramadi versus the other battlefield you were on?
I was so naive. Like we would do missions, and do you remember those like white apartments in Ramadi? They call them like the Chinese apartments. Yep. Yeah. So I remember we would like drive by and like get a couple pop shots or anything like that. And we were getting hit by IEDs like quite frequently, but they were never like hurting anyone. Like it'd be like small bits of shrapnel. And then we got orders to keep going up and down Route Gremlin, which neighbored the train station and the university. So when it got to its worst was August 4th. So that's when we were doing, I believe it was civil affairs, and I'm sure Dan will correct me like if I'm wrong, but we were doing civil affairs on another town over. And White Platoon was heading back in, and near the university and near the train station, White Platoon got hit. So in the book, it explains that like it's an S curve, right, in the road where Sergeant Story and Sergeant Best got hit. And it was also our interpreter who passed away as well, and Mike Hayes, who got thrown from the vehicle. To say that the road is an S curve, it's a little more dynamic than that, because it's a road that's going from a raised like hill, and the left turn is inclusive in that S turn. So when they planted that IED, it was a command detonated IED that ran into the train station. They were making a left-hand turn on an S turn, so it already like the Humvee was already kind of tilted. And I remember we heard this like loud explosion because we were pretty far away. This loud explosion. I believe. Were you on base or were you in town? No, I was in town. So White and Red Platoon, we were both doing missions out at the same time, just in different locations. But we were all, I believe, we were somewhere near the university. Okay. And then White Platoon, we heard the calls for White Platoon, like, "Hey, we've been hit." We drive over there. I grabbed all my shit. We're driving. You could see the column building, like just a black column of something burning. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, and like I'm saying, like naivety, like you don't know what you don't know. And before it was like, oh, they got hit by an IED, like everyone will probably be okay because that's what's happened before. Like patterns repeat themselves. You know what I mean? So we pull up, we pull outside security. We get out, and the vehicle was on its side. I remember that. I believe Doc Harrod already took Hayes. I believe he was gone, or they might have still been there. And they said, hey, Story and Best are either inside or they got thrown. And I remember I walked around the outside of the vehicle, and there was a hole blown in the underside of the vehicle that was larger than the turret. So that hole that was blown in the vehicle reached all 4 tires. And I remember like looking through it, I was like, dude, I can see through that thing. And so me and one other guy, like I grabbed my aid bag, and I remember walking through a field, like near the train station, because we were looking for them, and we were calling out to their names, like, hey, Clint, like, where are these guys? And we were looking at each other, and then someone told me, like, they're still in the vehicle. And I was like, no, like, there's nothing left of the vehicle. What do you mean they're still in the vehicle? And it's just this, like, this unreal, like, thought that they're gone. Like, what do you mean they're still in there? Like, they were just here. Like, they were just playing poker a couple nights ago. Like, those are your boys. And the interpreter was in there too. When it hit me that it was like, this is like the real deal, is we would carry body bags on our vehicle, and they told me to go get the body bags. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I put them in there, like, cause I was the driver. So I had to inventory everything. I knew where everything was on that piece of equipment. Grabbed the body bag, and I think Sergeant Marsh walked over with an arm. It was the interpreter's arm, just an arm. He's like, open the bag. I unzipped it, and he like dropped it in. And he's like, all right, take that over there or whatever. And I was like, dude, where am I? Like, what the fuck am I in right now? And that's when I was like, this is for fucking keeps. And you don't realize, like, how much you can have disdain for other people because they just killed your friends. Does that, like, make sense? Like, I remember getting back to our tents, and I just broke down crying, because, like, I was like, what did we miss? Because we drove over that road multiple times that day. And how long has it been there? It was a command detonated IED. They had to have dug it up. They've had to disturb the road in some way. They laid wire into the train station and detonated it. How did we all miss that? Like, it's just the guilt that you carry with, like, dude, maybe I should have saw it when I was driving, because I drove by it on my left side, getting out to the village that we were in. Like, it's unacceptable. And I don't know. I think about that and being over there every single day of my life. Like, it's terrible. Like,
we were, speaking of Johnny Kim, he was not only a sniper, not only a medic, but he would also do lead nav in the Humvees, and he'd be in, like, the front vehicle in the nav position. And we were going across the bridge, ECP3, I think, drove across that bridge. We were going to go driving our vehicles to Cop Falcon, but we went through Tamim to get there. And we're driving slowly, like, really trying to be careful, looking for pressure plates and, whatever, what do they call us, crush wires and stuff like that, as opposed to looking for command det stuff. But we're looking, we're driving, and I'm in vehicle 2, because it's normally driving vehicle 2. And so I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden, like, the vehicle stop, and Johnny, like, thought he saw something, and he, like, guys get out with white lights to try and look around and find we don't think it's anything. So we continue to Cop Falcon. And then, like, an hour later, the IED guys, like, find, like, a triple stack there. So we found it, stopped, looked at it, or, like, looked for it, and decided it wasn't anything, and just drove over it, like no factor. So yeah, the randomness of combat is very strange, and that's a good case. You're saying you guys drove by that shit all day long, and that probably, like you said, those guys take time, put stuff in there, and they'll leave it in there for days, if not weeks, if not months, just waiting for the right time when they can think they can get away with it. So for the earth to have been disturbed 3 weeks ago, you're not going to see that anymore. You know, it's like, and they did a good job. They would like put dust and sweep around it and, you know, put trash on it, whatever. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell.
EOD showed us one time a pressure plate that I thought was like really ingenious. Like, say what you will about them, but they were pretty intelligent. Like the handsaw blades, they would take 2 of those and just space it with cardboard and connect the 2 wires to it. So those 2 saw blades would never touch because of the cardboard, but you drive a Humvee tire over it, it's going to connect those 2 saw blades, and talk about like efficient, cheap, and you could keep redoing it over and over and over, but just with just 2 saw blades running over an IED. Like, I don't know, it was wild.
So we fast forward a little bit. Tell me a little bit about what the Brigade Recon Troop was doing. And I'll start by saying this. It was almost the exact same thing that my SEALs were doing, which is going out, setting up overwatch positions in areas where the enemy was expected to be, the enemy had been. We thought the enemy might be traversing through. There was going to be other operations that were taking place where overwatch was needed. You know, and oftentimes we worked together, mutually supporting each other. But what was that, kind of just talk like what a day-to-day getting spun up for an operation, briefing the operation, going out and doing it. What was it like for you?
So we would always, depending on what we were getting, a lot of times we'd get route clearance. Once a month we got to do going to BIOP, like the Baghdad International Airport, to pick up the recruits for the Iraqi army or the police force. Sure. And then we would convoy them out there and then come back. We were stoked because we got to get Burger King and Cinnabon, and all. BIOP had everything, man. They had that little bazaar where you could buy all the new movies and everything. Crazy. Yeah, for like $5. Talk them down to like $4. Like, man, give me 3 of them and I'll give you $10.
Cinnabon.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Oh, it was so, how good was it? And it was like cheap McDonald's. Like, where's this going from? But we were just stoked to get out of there. But like then we started doing like the small kill team stuff, and it was, we did it before, but like I said, like nothing ever really happened, and it was a huge learning curve, like for me as well. Like, what do I do on these things? Because I'd always be in the back, like while guys would like breach doors, going in, taking over the buildings, and more than likely we were taking over 2 at a time, because for a small kill team you want 2 positions. So one can watch the other one. That way it's a little bit easier. So we get the brief, let it be known like enemy contact is either imminent, highly likely. I always worried about like moon illumination, because no joke over there, like you can see everything if the moon is bright, because there's no pollution, no smog, no nothing. It's just the hum of everyone's personal generators outside. So the illumination played a big factor in everything.
And the other thing that was interesting about you guys was you might be supporting any battalion that was there. You know, you guys supported the Marines sometimes, which was 3-8 and then 1-6. You guys supported the 135, the 137. And, you know, Colonel McFarland, he was putting you guys, you know, wherever there was friction, wherever there was things going on. He would do the same thing with us. And, you know, sometimes we would work together. Sometimes there was multiple things to support. And it's weird, you know, on August 2nd, you know, I had Colonel Dean, who was a commander of the 135 on the podcast. And, you know, on August 2nd, that's when Mark Lee was killed and Ryan Job was badly wounded. And I had forgotten that on that day, where we were conducting that operation with the 137 in downtown Baghdad, I had a whole nother element of SEALs that were with the 135 at the university doing a big, massive clearance at the university. And it just, you know, like, it was a pretty mellow operation in relative to what operations could be like, and definitely relative to what was happening in downtown with the 137. But I had forgotten, like, oh yeah, we were there and had a whole support element, had SEAL intel guys out there, like doing interrogations and whatnot. And so, you know, depending on what was going on in the city, my SEALs were getting moved around and we were moving around to support what was happening. And then you guys were doing literally the exact same thing. And if it was a big enough operation, they'd throw, we'd both have elements out there in various Overwatch positions. I might have 2 or 3, you might have 1, 2, or 3, and we'd be mutually supporting ourselves and then mutually supporting each other.
How crazy is that like all that happened, 19 years ago, and now we're sitting here.
And we're sitting here talking about it.
And we didn't even know it, being in the same room together. It's wild. It's wild how things work out. And I don't know, I truly do believe that like things happen for a reason. But there really was like no rhyme or reason. It was like whatever job needed to get done, they'd call us, whether it was route clearance, support. I hated supporting the engineers.
When you guys were doing route clearance, what were you doing?
We'd get attached to the engineers, and they would go out with like the buffaloes and just.
So you'd be in the Humvees behind them,
literally looking for mines.
Yeah,
like,
no, that was
for
sketch.
IEDs. Like I would rather walk through downtown Ramadi without an IBA
100%
than drive anywhere. I'll walk. I don't care. I don't want to drive this thing. Like it's terrifying. Because like they couldn't shoot anyway. Like they'd shoot at you, and it was always like just pop shots or whatever. But driving was the most terrifying. I always thought like route clearance, like this is it. Like this is where we're gonna get hit.
Yeah, my first time going in Buffalo, which was the IED vehicles,
Man.
and I was just catching a ride from one side of Ramadi to the other. But they're still going to do their job, and it's really weird because. When you're out on patrol, whether you're in a Humvee or whether you're on foot, you are actively like patrolling, right? You're checking your field of fire, you're scanning, you're thinking you're gonna get blown up, you're looking at the ground.
If I was a dude, where would I be hiding?
Yeah, exactly. You're going through all that stuff, and so here I am in a Buffalo, and I'm literally just a passenger.
You're trapped.
And by the way, they're high up. They got big ass windows.
That thing tilts over. Like, what are you guys doing?
And
like,
and it's air conditioned. So I'm sitting in this thing for the first time, and I was like, it was really I felt like the way like a sightseeing person must feel when they go on like
you're on a train,
double decker bus through London, and you're just looking around. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And of course the whole time you can still get blown up.
Oh, for sure.
And those guys, the heroics of those route clearance guys day after day.
Multiple times a day.
Yeah, and they would get hit with an IED, which meant the IED was now cleared, and they would continue on the mission.
Nuts.
It was freaking nuts. So what you're talking about when you guys would do route clearance, all you're doing is getting in your Humvees and following the freaking buffaloes.
Yeah, we're driving a coffin. Like we're just waiting, because we were just providing support for them. If some shit happened, we'd break off and go attack the element that attacked them. So that way they could finish their mission. I don't know how those dudes, like, big props to the engineers and all those guys that did route clearance every day. Like, God bless you.
God bless those guys, man.
Man, and like, talk about a scary job. But I don't know. I tell people that all the time. I'd rather walk naked through Ramadi than drive. Like, any day, because it was terrifying.
Yeah, but I'm thinking for you guys, that's just one of the rotating missions that you did was, oh, by the way, you're going to go do route clearance.
Yeah, it was never like a set. We'd get like durations of like set schedules. Like we had to go to Cop Grant for 2 weeks. It seemed to be like shorter durations of missions, or, hey, come up here. We're going to go do a small kill team. We're going to support this element. Like it was always like kind of random, which I kind of dug, because it was never the same thing over and over, which kind of like, maybe that's why I like firefighting, because it's never the same thing over and over.
And you came to my base one time for a briefing. That must have been crazy, because also I was really strict with uniforms with my guys when they left my compound. But if they were in my compound, I didn't care. Like, you want to wear flip-flops and surf shorts and a t-shirt, whatever. Just when you go out and you interact with the conventional forces, like, you will be in a squared away uniform. Well, in as squared away uniform as a SEAL can put on, which is not that squared away. But you come down there and were you like, damn, this seems pretty laid back? Or what was your impression?
Yeah, I was shocked. Like I was telling you earlier, like first name basis, like that does not happen in the regular Army. Like you address everyone, no matter how close you are, like by rank and I don't know. I was blown away. But like just operationally, but I believe like to survive, you need to be that close knit, because during combat, it comes down to like, it's not right or wrong. It's like the dude to your left and your right. Like you're not fighting for any political agenda. If you're on the right side of history, like you're fighting to get home. Like it gets to a point where you're like, dude, if I don't, like Sergeant Gonzalez would always say, like, fight like you're already dead. because we are going to die here, like, if you don't perform. And the worst action is inaction. Like, especially when you're taking fire, if anything happens, just not being able to decide what to do. And I learned that early on, like, from the leadership and the mentorship of them. But like, seeing how you guys operated, it was obviously intimidating. Like, you tell anyone, like, hey, we're going to go to the SEAL base. And of course, we're all like, you guys better have your shit, like, washed, clean. Like, they're going to be looking at us because, like, we're going to be doing outer cordon security for these guys. Like, so they need to be able to rely on us. It was intimidating. And I believe our sniper, David Cantor, I believe he caught on one of the small kill teams, like, shot a dude that was, like, approaching your position with a couple grenades, and you guys gave him a coin.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It was, I don't know, gnarly.
You lost guys, the story in Best, August 4th. And then not even a couple weeks later, you guys had Sergeant Quick get killed.
It was the 19th of August. So we were... with Story and Best, like, we were in the city. We were already out with Quick. We got woken up and were told, or we were in our tents, and we got brought in and we were told that, like, Quick got hit, Y platoon's in some shit, like, and we need to do the QRF, like, quick reaction force. Like, that's our dudes. Like, everyone just ran out as quick as they could and got in our Humvees and just waited. And we were idle because they already exfil them back to the camp. And then that's when we were told, like, Story didn't make it. There were a couple other guys that were wounded. But what was really weird about that operation was it flip-flopped, like, red, white. So we did that same mission the day before. And Sergeant Quick, like, he and I had, like, a very interesting like, relationship. So when we were in Kuwait, one time I left the quarters without my cover, and I was with one of my buddies, because you always had to travel in pairs, and he's like, hey, where's your fucking cover? And I think I was just going to take a piss or something. Like, it was, like, super short, gonna go right there and come right back. And I told him, I was like, I forgot it, there's no excuse, Sergeant. And he's like, I fucking like that answer. And I said, it's not going to happen again. So, like, ever since then, like, him and I had, like, a pretty cool relationship. We would joke around a lot, and it was funny when I was going out on the mission first, and he's like, hey, Black, don't let anything happen to yourself. I don't know what I'd do, or I don't know what I'd do with myself if anything happened to you. Something to that extent. I'm paraphrasing. So when I saw him the next day, and I said, hey, don't let anything happen. I don't know what I'd do with myself without you. Just joking. And fucking, that was the last words I ever said to that man. So, like, we got word that, like, he passed away. And I think I was a newly promoted corporal, and in the Army, it's kind of a lateral E4 position. Like, if you show that you're showing signs of, like, leadership, they can laterally promote you. And I was, like, a newly promoted corporal, and I promise there's a point to this story. So after Sergeant Quick passed away, they called all NCOs to the talk, and this was Dan. Like, Dan pulled us up there, and I'm not sure if he mentioned it or anything, but he called all of us into his room, and in the talk, it was like the radio room. He had his own room, and he called us all in there, shut the door, and do you remember they issued us those stupid side plates? Like, and they were like, hey, this is like this new thing, and I was like, dude, I already got birthing hips. Like, I can't wear side plates. I can't be wider than I already am. And so I remember wearing the side plates. He called us in there, and under his bed, he pulled it out and threw it in the center of the room, and it was Sergeant Quick's IBA. So, and that's the correct term for it, right? The IBA. Trying to remember. And it was after he'd been hit with grenades. So, like, you could imagine, like, him placing that in the center of the room, and he said, his blood is on all of your hands. He's like, what's missing? And one guy, I don't even know who it was, he's like, his side plates. He's like, would he have lived with his side plates? And probably not. He's like, but you guys need to check each other to make sure you guys are wearing your shit. This is the last time I'm ever going to say it. And that, the image is just, like, burned into my brain of, like, he just died and you're throwing his gear on the ground. And it's taken years to like try and realize like, and to try and understand why he did something so like shock value, I guess. But it instilled that like, this is fucking life or death. Like, you guys need to fucking check each other. If you get lackadaisical on the protective equipment that we wear, it will fucking kill you. And it worked.
Yeah.
Like, man, that was like so fucking brutal and horrific. Like, I don't know. It was just, that was tough.
Yeah.
Cause I remember I was like brand new to this NCO thing. Like, why am I in here? And seeing that, I was like, fuck, man, like that's fucking brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. Those side sappy plates.
Oh my God.
I remember they actually brought a truckload of them down to Cop Falcon. So we're at Cop Falcon, and they brought a truckload of them down to Cop Falcon and started handing them out to guys.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, we're already heavy enough. Like, it's already hard enough to move. It's already hard enough to get around. I remember they gave us, there was like a prototype for, it was a fan. It was like this cylindrical device that you could put on the back of your IBA, and when it would blow air, it was just a fan that would blow air up your plate. They're like, hey, you're going to try this out. I was like, whose uncle is making money off of this thing? Like right now selling this contract to the government.
And then I'd see like some gunner on a 113 and dude, they would have every piece of body armor that you could put on. The collar thing, remember the shoulder thing?
Oh my God, the shoulder pads,
the cut, like the groin protector,
the
whole 9 yards.
So like the gunners would have to wear all that stuff. Like like if you were driving, you had to. And like the side plates were a bitch. Like trying to drive with those things, especially like the radio in the way, and I don't know, it was a freaking pain in the ass. It was so much gear, and it was so freaking fucking hot as hell, heavy.
And your op tempo. You're talking about red going out, white going out. Who were you? Which one were you in?
I was red.
And then how often are you going out?
Depending on the mission. So sometimes we'd go out together, and then if it was a mission like route clearance, then we'd like switch off. Or if it was like a small kill team, like just for instance, like that small kill team, we went first, white went second, or however it played out. It was all dependent on like what the leader's intent was for that mission and what the operation needed.
And then you were always on QRF.
Yeah, if they were out, then we were always on QRF.
Standing by to go.
1 minute, you had to be ready to go, engines on, ready to take orders. So we were just in our tents all day, especially if our own dudes were out. Like some guys would just hang out at the Humvees, like when our dudes were out, just play cards, bullshit.
It's, when I was a kid, I never pictured war to be like, it's 50 feet away. You know what I mean? Like we're here, we're on a base, we're playing cards or we're eating chow or whatever. But in 3 minutes, you can be like in a complete and utter gunfight.
A shit show.
Yeah.
Just getting shot where you don't even know where it's coming from. You're like, where the fuck is that? Like, where are we getting shot at from? It's just wild because they'd always fire a couple shots, then run. So like by the time where you even could like look to see where it was coming from, like, oh fuck, they're gone. Like very rarely was it like they're going to shoot and stay there because they know that we're going to freaking annihilate them. Yep. Like their guns aren't zeroed, or especially like I remember a Bradley one time locked onto a window and just driving like 50 miles an hour, just its barrel followed and just destroyed that window, how fast it could go and how ferocious it was. Like it was gnarly.
Yeah. Bradleys are freaking legit.
Crazy fast.
So in the book, Dan talks about David Dietrich, and he was kind of like a kid that was sort of struggling to make it, and he finally gets to go out on an operation. This is December 29th. He finally gets to go out, and Dan's sort of like is saying, hey, fix your headgear. I forget it was his headgear or his iPro or something.
iPro.
And Dietrich like gives him a big hug, and it's like, hey, this is the best day of my life, or something along those lines. Again, I'm paraphrasing, but the kid was totally fired up because he wanted to be a soldier. He wanted to go to combat. He had worked his ass off. You guys had been training him and trying to get him up to speed, and finally he's up to speed. He goes out and he ends up getting killed. Now, were you the medic You were the medic on that operation.
Yes.
What do you remember about it?
Just for like a little context of that, we were supposed to go home in December because it was a 12-month order. So we got there in January. They were trying to get us home by Christmas. Like that was the rumor. Like the rumor mill was always like, hey, they're trying to get us home by Christmas. Third ID should be here. So they should relieve us. If not, like first thing in January. And I forget exactly when. I want to say it was around like Thanksgiving. And credit to our officers, because like they always said like, we're never going to hide anything from you guys. And as soon as they knew, they told us, they're like, hey, we're extended for up to 3 months. I remember calling my mom. I'm like, hey, and she thought I was in an aid station anyway. Like she had no clue what I was doing. And I remember calling her. I'm like, hey, they're keeping us here. Cause it was like, John McCain wanted the 20,000 troop boost in 2007. So we had to stay. So this is like, now we've been through all this combat. Like we've lost friends. Guys have like literally lost body parts. Like we were just so like tattered. I believe 1 out of every 3 of us got a Purple Heart. Like we were just like trying to get by. And then in November, it's like, hey, we're not going home. It's like, shit. Okay. So every mission after that, you're like, we should be fucking home by now. Like, this is bullshit. Like, why are we going on these missions? And so,
and by the way, you know, when I had General McFarland on here, I forget the exact numbers, but from like the time you were extended, the 1-1 AD lost like another 30 soldiers. You know, it wasn't like, oh, we're extended, we have to stay longer. It's like, no, we're extended, we have to stay longer, and we're going to continue to have to fight every single day against a determined enemy.
Oh, wait, the weather cooled off. They wanted to kill us. It wasn't 100 and fuck outside to where they like were miserable too. Like when it cools down, like they want to get us, like, and they'll wait. They waited for us. And on December 29th, we went to Cop Firecracker to support the Marines. We pulled up into their AO and we got this small kill team mission to where we would take over 2 buildings. We infilled at night, as we always did, infilled at night. And then did our operation throughout the night, got everything set up. And I remember I was laying down and then all of a sudden I heard over the radio, like we heard the shot. So everyone's up and we're like, oh fuck. And you kind of like sit there cause it was just a single shot. And it's like, okay, like when's it going to start? Like, like, you know, just all hell breaking loose. I remember I sat up and I'm like, okay, like let's wait and see like how this plays out, listen to radio traffic and then go from there. I sat up and I forget who was on the radio. They're like, hey, we need fucking black over here now. Like, this is bad. So the way it worked is we had the 2 houses, but you had to go outside of the house and turn a corner to get to the other one. So I was in house, let's say A, and Dietrich was shot in house B. Well, we would go downstairs and every time we infilled at night, we'd take those like big ass zip ties that they'd give us to like use as handcuffs if we took any prisoners or anything. We just zip tied the door like completely shut. And at this time, like we're still not hearing anything. Nothing's going on. But they were saying that like one of the guys is hit and we didn't know who it was. And it's, so like I remember like cutting, like I think it was Sergeant Gonzalez or Sergeant Beal was like cutting the zip ties off the door. I'm like, fucking hurry up. Like, oh my gosh, like get those things off. Like we need to get to our dude. And we knew it was a right and a right. So we needed to get out. I was in the middle. So they're like, you get in the middle, like, so we can watch, like, cause you're not like, you're the medic. Like we need to get you over there. So I got in the middle, Sergeant Gonzalez led, we made a right. We're pounding on the door like, hey, fucking let us in. And you could hear them cutting their zip ties on their door inside. And it was just this like masonry building, like this concrete, like a concrete building. It had a stairway up and then up again. So it made like a 90-degree turn. When we got to the 2nd floor landing, one of our guys there, Bago, was just holding a Israeli dressing on his head, and I'll never forget like the look he gave me, because like just the whites of his eyes were like, dude, what the fuck? So I remember I dropped down, I took my shit off, dropped my bag. And the first thing I said is like, where did you get shot from? And they said that window over there, and it was a window that was probably 10 feet away. I said, get someone on the fucking window. Like because they're either going to throw grenades in because they already know we're in here, or like at least get someone over there to look, like, so we don't take more casualties. I dropped down. I took the Israeli bandage from Bach. I said, I got it. And I pulled it back, and it was like, if you had to describe it, it was just like a human brain. It looked like someone mixed like Jello and like chicken fat, and just like the amount of heat that was leaving his body was like insane, because a lot of heat leaves through your head. So like I peel it back, and it's just like steaming, like you just took the pot off of like boiling water. And I put the dressing bag on his head. I grabbed his hand because he was still shaking. And I said, hey, Dietrich, if you can hear me, squeeze my hand. Because he was still breathing. And like he didn't give a response. I said, buddy, if you can hear me, squeeze my hand, please. Like, we're going to get you out of here. So place the dressing back on, wrap it up. He's still like losing heat. I threw a collar around his neck, and I just remember I was like, hey, someone give me the litter. Someone threw a litter on him. Then he started to do, when you have like severe brain damage, your body starts to get into what they call like decorticate and decerebrate posturing. So I'd only read about it in books, like from like the military training, and he started like posturing. So I was like, oh shit, like this is bad. We get him on the litter, and as we're carrying him down the stairs, that like aggressive turn from upstairs, like on the landing, we couldn't get all of us to carry him at the same time. So I was like, fucking give him to me. So I grabbed him, and I just started carrying him down the stairs, and I said, let's put him back on the litter when we get outside. Carry him downstairs. There's just like brain matter like all over me, just shit everywhere. We put him back on the litter. I was like, hey, I need 4 guys to help me carry him. And this is when like Dan was at the end of the road. It was probably like a quarter mile away. Like we were in the middle of freaking nowhere. I get down, he's posturing now. He's posturing in. He's like shaking. I'm like, fuck, dude, he's fucking like, this is horrific. I said, Dietrich, like, you're good, dude. Like you're good. Like we're already outside. Like we're going to get you out of here, man. And fucking then like grenades started popping off, and it was just the fucking machine gun fire. I didn't know where the fuck it was coming from. Like my only concern was like him. So I covered him, and I'm just like blocking him because I didn't know where shit was coming from. They were like, hey, fucking pop smoke. Like when I tell you like our leadership over there was fucking top notch, like they took care of us. Like they were the most brutal, like war fighters that you could ever imagine, that could make decisions under pressure for the greater good of the platoon and us. They knew to pop smoke. They had communications with getting him out of there, and they laid down suppressing fire. Like it was just so perfectly coordinated that we were able to like pick him up. We ran him out of there and got him off to the aid station. But it was then we had to like run back to cop firecracker, and that like we're still in the middle of the fucking city. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Like we know they're out here. We know they're watching us. The streets are empty. Like, you know, some shit's gonna go down when all the kids leave. Like when the kids are playing outside, it's like, oh dude, nothing's gonna happen now. When all the kids leave the street, you're like, oh fuck, like what's gonna happen? Like when people start emptying the street. But Lieutenant O'Hare asked me, he's like, do you think he'll be okay? And I said, well, he's never going to be Dietrich again. And they called us into a meeting. It was in like one of the top stories of Cop Firecracker, and they let us know that he passed away. And I was like, fuck, man. Like I just started crying. Like I didn't know what to do. Like I felt like I failed him. Why didn't I save him? Like, that was my job. Like, that was all I was over there to do, was like to save lives. And then to compound off of that, it was story best. Like, why didn't I see that IED? Like, why did I say to quick? Like, I don't know what I'd do with myself if something happened to you. Like, that, like, what, like, this is fucking hell. Why am I here? Like, what am I doing? And you just want to, like, quit and give up, because they just keep coming for you fucking day after day. And then not but like 3 days later, route clearance mission. You're like this, I am gonna fucking die over here. And I remember telling myself, like, thank God, like, I don't have kids, or like, thank God I don't have a fucking wife. Like, my mom will be sad, but like, dude, like, this is the fucking end. Mm-hmm. It was brutal. And nothing ever prepares you for that. Like, how do you prepare for that? To like watch your friends pass away. It's fucked up.
Did you take leave? Whatever the when you go home for 2 weeks, did you do that at some point during that deployment?
I did.
When was it?
I went in July. So
okay.
We were in Ramadi, and that's when we were just getting like peppered by the IEDs, like every once in a while. And my first day back, I want to say it was like July 24th. So we were over by the university once again, and this is like kind of taking it back. So now we're back in July. Yeah. We were driving by the university, and I was the tail vehicle, and all of a sudden, like, the vehicle in front of me just blows up, and I didn't hear anything, and it was the vehicle directly in front of me. Just like, I have never in my life experienced or seen just kinetic raw energy blow a solid Humvee just into pieces, just obliterated it. And you know how like the Humvee window, like the windshields are flat. Mm-hmm. I remember, I'm tall, so I had to like bend over, and I looked up, and I'm just watching like shrapnel fly in the air, and then it hits me. I'm like, oh fuck, our dudes are inside. This is my first day back off of leave. So like, I just did hung out with my grandma, my uncle. Mm-hmm. My uncle's asking for stories. Hey man, what kind of shit you getting in over there? Like, fuck yeah, like, he's all into it. And Sergeant Marco told me, he's like, you stay right fucking there, do not get out, because they were planning the secondary IEDs. Mm-hmm. So we thought it was the primary, waiting for the secondary. There were 4 people in that vehicle at that time. So Sergeant Gonzalez, he gets out of the vehicle, he's on fire, like, he's jumping on the ground, like rolling around. There was another guy, his name was Robinson. He was a replacement. And another dude, he was in the back seat. He got out, and he was like trying to kick himself away from the Humvee, because now it's cooking off. Mm. No movement from the driver door, and the gunner was thrown. So Sergeant Marco gets out, and we're still like right by the university. So I'm like, holy shit, like, we're in a horrible spot. Like, they can see us from everywhere. And my gunner, Neenan, I was like, dude, I'm getting out. Like, I'm going. And Neenan's like, if you get out, I'll shoot you. And so I'm just sitting there holding my aid bag, like, just ready to go. And it felt like eternity. I'm like, dude, just like, let me go. Finally, he turns around. He's like, come up. And Strickland wasn't getting out of the vehicle. So I open the door. It's just like shit's popping off. It's on fire. Strickland would always drive with his arm up on the radio. So I open the door. He's kind of like hunched over. And I remember I just grabbed him like by the handle on his back, pulled him out like he was weightless, like just so much fucking adrenaline that I had. And I was pulling him off like out of the Humvee. And I looked down, I'll never forget, like I was dragging him, and I looked down and his arm is hanging on by like just the skin. Like, and I was dragging it in the dirt. So I had to like pick him up onto my chest. And like I said, like weightless, picked it up, patched him up. Robertson, his foot was like blown open, had a gnarly head wound. Patched him up, went over to Gonzalez. I'm like, where are you fucking hit? He's like, my legs. He kept saying his legs, and I couldn't find anything. And we got everyone out of there in like 13 minutes. Like it was super, super fast. But that was like my introduction back from leave. And that was, and like Wirt was thrown, the gunner. I believe he broke his pelvis or his legs. Like he was just thrown super far. But those were like, I don't know. It was gnarly.
Yeah. The reason I ask is first of all, in the SEAL teams and in the Marine Corps, we do shorter deployments than you guys.
Yeah.
We do like 6 or 7 month deployments. You guys are doing freaking 12, 14, 15, 16 month deployments. And so you guys get leave in the middle of it, which I honestly don't know. Like, that seems like it'd be really psychologically hard to do. Go home and just be everything normal for 2 weeks. And then especially like you're going to go back and you know what you're getting into. That seems like it'd be really hard to do.
There were stories of guys that just didn't come back. They're like, like they left there because you'd go to Kuwait and like check in all your stuff and fly home, and they just never would come back. Just stories. I never personally witnessed it, but I could see how that would happen. But I know for me, it would be the guilt. Like I wouldn't want another medic unless it was like Doc Herod there with my guys, because I was like, if anyone's working on them, it's going to be me. And that's what I took at least like some pride in. Like if my guys are going, like I'm going too. And I hope I did a good job and good by them. Looking back, you can always like pick apart everything. Like maybe if I would have done this, maybe if I would have done that, but you end up in this cycle of like self-loathing that is not good. It's not healthy. And it's toxic. And it's like, I just became a fucking miserable person. Like just, cause like survivor's guilt for one was like a huge thing. Like, fuck, I wish I would have died, because some of those guys had wives and kids. I'm like, then part of you is like, I wish I would have died. And you're like, fuck, I could probably do that now. I could probably still kill myself. And I know it's like taboo to like talk about it, but it's the reality of everything. Cause the brain is a very, very scary device. And the way that it's wired, that if you tell yourself something enough times, like you'll actually start to think it's true. And over time, I wouldn't talk about things that were actually like going on in my head and like thoughts that I would have. And it just compounded on top of itself, on top of like my job, like horrific shit that I'd see at work that would bring up like old memories. Like this, still to this day, the smell of a burning vehicle, I have to like take a second and be like, okay, I'm not there. Like I'm not in Iraq, because that smell was the first time, like in Iraq was the first time I smelled a burning vehicle, and my brain associates that with my dead friends. So luckily, like over time, I've told myself like, all right, if I smell it, like I'm not there. I'm safe. I'm fine. But it can just be a roller coaster of like pain and anguish. And I became a pretty terrible person to like, not only like myself, but to be around, but I just wouldn't talk about it. And I wish back then, like looking back, hindsight's always 20/20. I wish I would have like gotten the help that I needed. I wish I would have been honest, because I was going to the therapist, but I was never like 100% transparent. Like I wouldn't show up to the therapist and be like, hey, I watch videos online of Humvees getting blown up and wishing that I was in the Humvee. Like, because I was scared of them saying like, you need to get locked up in treatment. And then I would never tell them like, hey, I fascinate with like killing myself. It was always like, I'm good. And they would say like, how are you doing? Like, no, I'm good. Doing good. The antidepressants are working. Like they fucking weren't. They were not working. Like they were making it worse. And it got to the point like I would just go years with just saying I was okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I fucking wasn't okay. Like I wish I would have like reached out to my friends and been like, hey man, like, hey, are you going through this too? Like I'm like super infatuated with like ending my life. And I would never tell anyone that, but I also like got off on it because it was my secret. Like I just held on to it like it was a sense of power. But in reality, I was losing it like every day. And like through therapy, they explain that like your neurons can get like rewired. And when you go through something like so traumatic, like what happened in Iraq, it's not necessarily the events that happened in Iraq. It's when your brain was developing, the seed was planted. So when I lost my friends there, like your brain associates that with like possibly my dad leaving. Mm-hmm. So I went to therapy. I ended up having to go to 30 days in Utah.
And you're now in the mindset of like accepting that you're gonna die.
Oh yeah, like I thought I was dying over there for sure.
And then, so how is, you're powering through, you're going in the field every day or every other day at a minimum, you're on QRF, you're sitting in overwatch positions, you're doing route clearance, and every time you go out, it's like the gut-wrenching, like, oh yeah, this, probably coming today.
You hit a point where you're so numb, you're like, fuck it. Like, it's not like if I'm going to die, it's how. Mm-hmm. Like, and I hope it's glorious. Like, it's twisted. Mm-hmm. And then you don't even look at, as horrible as it sounds, like the population there, you don't even look at it as like humans. You look at them as like a threat. Mm-hmm. It's terrible. Like the way that you would like view another human being, like it was totally different. Like the parallels that happen, like from getting there, being like, yeah, hearts and minds, like I'm a medic, I can actually help people, community medicine, to like, I need to like either kill everyone just to make it back home, or I need to find a way out of here. Mm-hmm. Like just the two extreme parallels that I never thought I'd get into. Like my brain wasn't, I don't think, equipped to like deal with that. I didn't realize what I was getting myself into.
Yeah. I was having a conversation with a Marine that was in Ramadi with us, and he had a hard time coming home. And I was like, bro, it's not normal. It's not normal for a person to like risk their life every single day and watch their friends and their troops and people that rely on and people that they're responsible for to die.
Yeah.
Repeatedly. Like that's not, hey, I get it. Everyone experiences death. If you're a hunter, you go out, you kill an elk, you kill a deer. If you're a farmer, or a rancher, you kill a cattle. If you're a normal person, your parents get old and they die. Occasionally someone gets sick in a terrible situation and they die. But like to just be surrounded. Like when I was a kid, I had a friend that died. I think he had some kind of a heart problem. And this was maybe in 4th or 5th grade. And, it was like shocking. But that was one kid. And you're a little kid. And I don't even think you're really old enough to process it yet. But when you're in combat in Ramadi and it's like, oh, another person just died today. Oh, let's go to another memorial service. Oh, now it's one of my friends died. Oh, it's another memorial service. It's over and over and over and over again. That shit's not normal. And so for people to get tripped up and be like, oh, well, number one, I'm going to die. And if I don't die, then there's something wrong with me because I should be dying. And there's no way I'm going to make it home anyways. And by the way, these people that are trying to kill us, fuck all them.
Hate them.
Yep, hate them. And, people talk about like, like the Vietnam vets will go back to Vietnam. And people are like, oh, Jocko, do you ever want to go back to like Iraq? And I'm like, no. Well, what about when you're older? I am older. I don't want to go back. Like, it's not happening. I don't want to go there. I want to see it.
No.
So as what happened mentally, like as you started getting short, as all of a sudden it's like, oh, you think you might actually be going home.
To insult to injury, I was stop loss twice because my ETS date was in October because I had signed up October of 2003. Mm-hmm. I signed a 3-year contract. So I was supposed to go home October of 06. Like that was my ETS date. Our deployment started in January. So I was stop lost until the duration of like the end of the deployment and the night out process. We got extended. I got stop lost again. They're like, hey, you're extended out another time. Damn. I'm like, God, like I'm going to get caught up, man. Like this is terrible. And so I was at the point like, man, I just need to get the fuck out of here. Like I just need to get home. Like I didn't have a plan. I had no clue what I was going to do. I just needed to get the fuck out of Ramadi. Like that was my plan. And finally it came down. Like we got the orders, like we're packing up all our shit. We're giving all the Humvees to the Iraqi army. So like and you get like insulted. You're like, fuck, dude, I worked on that thing for a fucking year. Like, that's my baby. Like, that thing kept me alive for a year, and now we're just going to hand it off, and they're going to shit all over it.
Yeah, that thing ain't going to run for 2 more weeks.
Yeah, with all the gear in it and everything. So we turn it in, and then I remember like starting to pack up the Connexes to go home to get through customs, and I'm like,
at what point did you stop running operations, and how much more time did you have to pack?
I believe we stopped running operations, and I'm sure Dan could answer it. Like, we got home on Valentine's Day in 06. So I want to say like mid-February. So we probably stopped running operations about 2 weeks before that, 2 to 3 weeks before that.
So at that point, you kind of knew, you kind of like thought you made it.
It was the anticipation. It was like, hey, it looks like we might be going home. Then we started to see like the rumor mill is terrible. We started to see like the third ID Connex is showing up. So we're like, oh fuck, like it's happening. Like, we're going to get the fuck out of here. And then we had our last mission. They said that was it. Start packing up your shit. And I was so I was like, I cannot wait to get the fuck out of the Army. This is not for me. Like, this is like, and maybe if I didn't deploy, my wife has asked me like, do you think you would have stayed in the military? And I told her if it wasn't for combat, maybe, because it was a cool career. Like, you're told what to do, when to do, how to do it. Like, everything is very structured. You know, like what's going on, but I didn't realize like the combat I can't do this again.
And just so you know, that was not a normal tour, like at all.
Yeah. Realizing that now, I'm like, holy shit, like that was fucking brutal. Like the just brutality of man, like just, I don't know, like it's hard to not think about it and like associate it.
It's a weird dynamic for the SEAL teams. So when we were wrapping up deployment, and we're turning over with guys from SEAL Team 5, and I guess one very different dynamic. I suppose there's going to be some people in the Army that you would know, the people that are coming to replace you. You might know a few of them, but like in the SEAL teams, we know these guys. Like they're like our friends. And it was, when I had Elliot and Joe, who were, we were talking about Warfare, the movie. Those are the two guys that were wounded on that operation. But just knowing these guys and knowing that what they're getting into, and there's no way you can convey it to them. Like, I literally told them, I was the task unit commander. I literally told them, I'm like, you guys are going to take casualties. And, just talking to them, they're like, yeah, we were like, okay, kind of almost didn't believe me. And I can see that, and you're like, you got it. Like everything you can do, like pay attention to everything. Everything matters. Like, yeah. And so when you're leaving these guys, it's like the most horrible feeling, because it's almost like and that they don't quite know yet, and it's like it just feels terrible. It'd be like, if you're watching something bad happen and your kids are there and you're like, all right, I'm just going to leave now, and there's nothing you can do to help them. Yeah. And that's what it felt like we didn't want to leave, and then you also know like, you can't stay. It ain't happening. And it was a horrible feeling leaving those guys. Because
you can only express it so much, like, hey, because there was like that phase, the transition phase, where like, hey, this is what we did, this is what worked for us. Pay attention to this, radio frequencies, that, like, you're trying to pass along information, but there's no way to prepare you for what was outside of those fucking wires in Ramadi.
God. So you get on the bird and you're heading home. How's that?
I went from being Sergeant Black in Ramadi, Iraq in February to Rob Black out of the military in April. So it was about a 6-week transition, because we got back out processed, and then I was back home with my mom. Like it was just like culture shock. Like there wasn't really a huge like transition period, and I remember just everything pissed me off.
Did you have a plan?
No, not really. I knew that I wanted to go to school, and I knew that I wanted to do something, and I had that EMT card from going to medic school. I was like, shit, I'll get a job on an ambulance. So I got hired at Care Ambulance, which was an ambulance service out in Orange and LA County, and I worked there for several years. And I worked with some guy. He's like, hey man, like, why don't you go to paramedic school? I was like, shit, that's actually a pretty good idea. And then in paramedic school, guys are like, hey man, like, why don't you try the fire service? Like, oh, that kind of sounds kind of cool. And it just kind of happened. Like I was never that kid that like grew up like playing with fire trucks or anything. It just, it ended up being like that. But my background was always like medical. So I got like into the dorky stuff, like the paramedicine stuff, which I still love to this day. I help teach at the community college when I can on days off. Like it's a lot of fun. But it was a rough transition because I always walked around with like a chip on my shoulder. Like everyone owed me something, or like people should respect me. And I just remember someone told me one time, like, nobody owes you fucking anything. Like, and it's true. Like, say what you want. Like, the world does not owe you shit. And I don't care who you are, what you've been through. Like, the world does not owe you anything, and nobody is going to tiptoe around you. And that was a hard life lesson for me to learn, because I was like, yeah, I've been through combat. Like, I've been in this shit. Now that it's over, I can be like Billy Badass, you know what I mean? Like, talk about it in the past tense, when like several months ago, I was like, God, I just want to get out of here alive. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's wild. Like, and it even seems like a fairy tale sometimes, like talking about it, just like how everything like transpired and how everything like worked out. It's kind of hard to believe sometimes. 'Cause even like when guys, like I'll work with some guys, I'm like, you were in the Army? I'm like, yeah, I was. I'm like, you're fucking weird. I'm like, yeah, I know, man.
Yeah. And again, it's not like you were just in the Army. I mean, you were a freaking, you know, you awarded the combat medical badge. Like, that means you were working on people in the shit under fire. That's what that means. And so what's like, you know, you're talking about these feelings that you're having when you get home. You know, it's what we call PTSD, right? This is what we call it. You're working as a medic. What does your life look like, and what does PTSD doing to your brain while you're, how old are you now? You're 24 years old working as an EMT. You're 25 years old working as an EMT.
I was 22 because I was 21. I was 21 during the deployment. I literally got out of the military in April, and I got hired by CARE in June. Okay. So within a matter of like 5 months, I went from, like I said, Sergeant Black to Rob Black, driving an ambulance around LA and Orange County.
And like, you're rolling up on car accidents, rolling up on morbidly obese people that are freaking covered in their own shit. And
every day.
Just
like,
heinous shit.
Those are my favorite. I'm just kidding. The same people that call over and over and over again. Yeah, the EMS system it's wild. And little did I know that was compounding what had already happened to me. Because like I said, you're just reliving it in a different aspect.
Over and over again.
Over and over and over again. And like I said, I wish I would have gotten help, because it came to a breaking point. Like eventually, like after I met my wife, I was drinking a lot. There'd be times where I would drink like every day, constantly. And then there'd be times where I just wouldn't drink. And my mind would just like go crazy. But
what is your mind going crazy? What is that? Describe that to me.
Trying to process like all this information. Like, I had so many thoughts going on that I could never get anything organized. Like, I would always get like hyper fixated on one thing. I'd get distracted and be like, okay, I need to do this. And I used alcohol to kind of like calm myself down, because that was all I knew. And you don't know what you don't know. And I was like, oh, a beer will just help me like, you know, calm down. Mm-hmm. And then I'd get excessive with it. And just like most veterans, you struggle with like some substance abuse stuff, and I'd abuse it and just drink a lot until I'd black out, because that was the only thing that would help me sleep at night. Like, I would wake up during the day and I would beg for nighttime. I'd be like, man, I just can't wait to take my Benadryl so I can fucking just not be awake anymore. Because I hated myself. Like, I just did not, I would wake up, look at myself in the mirror and be like, I fucking hate you. Like, who are you? Like, it was just miserable, because I just could not like organize my thoughts. I was just all over the place. I was miserable. I was toxic to other people. Like, I would talk down to other people. I thought that I was better than other people. Like, just things that were so unhealthy when I was the problem. It's like, this is a me problem, not an anyone else problem. And it wasn't until Like, I ended up meeting my wife, tale as old as time. We met on Tinder. It's a true romance.
Is Tinder like the pure hookup one? Carrie, you got to tell me.
Yeah, that's
like pure, like you're just going there kind of hook up.
Back then, though, it was kind of the only game in town for a little while, and then you had all these other little services crop up, and then Tinder became kind of the hookup one.
Yeah, I talked to the young guys at work. There's all kinds of shit out there now. It's like fish in a barrel, man. Like all the young firemen, they're like, dude, you live vicariously through them. It's wild. I couldn't even imagine like the dating scene nowadays. But we met. She's a horse girl. So if you ever love the rough touch of a woman, like date a horse girl. She was actually trailering down. She's competing in Del Mar
right on.
this week. So she's trailering.
Equestrian?
Yeah. So she does like hunter jumper. Like, so she jumps the fence. She's actually like super talented. She qualified for freaking nationals.
Damn.
In Las Vegas.
Jack.
She's a stud, man. Like, if you saw,
so how did you manage to freaking pull that off, dude? You're drinking and freaking being depressed and acting crazy.
I know, like what a disaster. She likes fix me ups, so
Jack.
That's
She's got a soft heart.
She loves hot messes. So, and to top it off, she's a freaking lawyer too. She's an attorney. Like full blown doctorate attorney. Like if you, I know I'm fighting out of my weight class. Like you'll see a picture of me and her, and you'd be like, "What is she doing with him? Like, what's wrong with her?"
So when you meet her, how old are you when you meet her?
It was 10 years ago. So
how old
I was
are you right now?
30. So I'm 40 now. I age like milk.
So you're 30 years old.
I look terrible.
So you're 30 years old. When you meet her, you still drinking. You're still feeling like.
Yeah, but she was drinking too. Like we were a fireman and an attorney living in an apartment together with nothing to do, and we were just partying. Like, hey, where's the next party at? Like going to San Pedro, hitting like the fish markets, just drinking all day, and then she calls me. It's actually a funny story. She sends me a text message of a positive pregnancy test. And I was driving on the 8 freeway to get my physical for work. And I wrote back, and if you know, like our dynamic of like our relationship, like she jokes a lot too. Like she would fit in very well with like police, fire, military, like that kind of like culture. And I wrote back, haha, fuck you. And then like, I didn't hear anything, and I'm on my way to the physical, and she calls me. She's like, "This is not a fucking joke. I'm pregnant.
This is not a drill."
I'm like, and I was like, there's no way. Like, what are you talking about? You're pregnant. And I had to pull over, and I puked on the side of the road. I went to my physical. My blood pressure was like 190 over something, like, and the poor girl like intaking me, like checking me in. She said, "Are you okay? Like, you do not like look okay." I said, "I know this is weird. I just found out that my girlfriend is pregnant, and I don't know what I'm doing with my life." Like, wild. So that was like the start of our relationship, and we have been together ever since.
So when did you get married?
We got married when she was pregnant, when she got pregnant.
And then at what point? So you're a firefighter. Now you're married. It's, I think, or whatever. You're married. You got a kid on the way. It seems like you're going in a pretty good, like from the outside, you're a firefighter. She's a lawyer. She's an equestrian master. You got a kid on the way. You're now married. Like, you're kind of like, if you paint that picture for a human being in Southern California, you're set for life. Like you're in the top, 1% of life winners, right?
You would think, right?
That's what it looks like from the outside, but what's going on the inside?
And that's where like the whole factor of like just struggling with like the PTSD kicks in. And it was the weirdest thing. Like, we get married, we have our daughter. I'm not drinking as much. Like, I'll have some drinks like when the baby goes to bed, whatever. But then like the dark thoughts start creeping in. Like, I'm like, fuck, man, like, why do I deserve this life? It's all about framing, right? So like what you're talking about, like, damn, you have like the perfect life on paper. I'm like, yeah, but why do I deserve this? Isn't that terrible? Like, isn't that a terrible like view to have of the world? Yeah. Like, why am I here now? And we made the decision. We're like, well, I mean, she needs someone to play with. So we had another kid. We had, as a second daughter. So it all came to a head, like, and it was never anything that was like line in the sand, like you're fucking up, like you're doing this. It was all tiny little things like, hey, we don't do that anymore. Cause I'd leave for my shift, I'd come home, and it would always be like, oh no, like she doesn't eat that anymore. Okay, well, it's been 3 days, like I'm trying to catch up. I was always trying to play catch up. Like I was this part-time dad that was just filling in for a couple of days just to leave again. And she was at home working full-time as an attorney, taking care of 2 kids. Like she's just eating it in the face. Like just, she's doing everything like rock star. And then I come in and just screw everything up. But it's all up here in my head that I'm screwing it up, when in all actuality, I was present, like, and I was there. But I would get in my own head and be like, man, I'm such a failure. Like, I don't deserve this life. Like you said, on paper, like I have a wife, a house, a family, like we got the dogs, we got the horses, like everything is great. But inside I lost it. And so it came down to like one day, like I would get like super infatuated with like killing myself, like just to be.
And you guys had, I remember Dan talked about this and he's got it in his book, but Diaz and Rogers, you had 2 guys that were in that troop with you guys in Ramadi.
Yes.
And they both killed themselves.
Yes.
Diaz was in 2018 and Rogers was in 2021. Did you hear about Diaz at this time?
And when it happened, yeah.
And did that like seem like, oh, there you go, like this is a possible,
and that's what I'm saying is like
here.
you're a product of your environment, and like you surround yourself with it. Like you hear the things like, oh, 22 a day, like guys are killing themselves all the time, and you feel like that's like your only like recourse or your only answer. And like the self-loathing builds up, you get in your own head. I was going to therapy, but not being honest. I'm on these antidepressants that are making me feel like not only tired all the time, but they're making me have like these lucid dreams that are like,
can these therapists can these therapists like, do they not, are they not able to be like, ask a couple questions where you get trapped some way where you kind of have to admit to it?
Yeah. I wish.
No.
Because like,
you're just like,
because
how are you doing today? Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah. Cause I was not fucking fine. And I wasn't honest. And feel free to interrupt me. It's like, it's literally your show. Like that's what it says. You know what I mean? But it was the strangest thing. Like we went to the Orange County Fair in 2019, and it was around this time, like July of 2019. And all I did was like, I pulled one of the girls out of the car seat and I put her in the wrong side. Like, cause they have like their designated sides. And I'm like, oh crap, I did that wrong. And then all day I just got in my own head, like, shit, man, like I can't do anything right. Like, why can I not do anything right? And we had like the picture perfect day at the OC Fair. Like just had a great time, good family day stuff, pictures from it. Like it was incredible. And then all of a sudden, like something in my brain fucking switched. And I know that like my daughters will hear this one day, but like I remember looking at them at the rearview mirror and I said, the answer is like, everyone would be so much happier if I was gone. Like, because then there wouldn't be these problems of me like choosing the wrong seat, or like, you know, I got him like the wrong bottle, or I got him the wrong food. All these things that just seem so like minuscule, like in the totality that is life. But like in my own head, I was like totally screwing everything up. I still remember looking at him like in the car seats, because we have like the backwards facing mirrors, and like looking at them and be like, damn, they're gonna be so happy when I'm gone. And then I got this like this period of like elation, because I finally had the answer. I was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. And even my wife was like, God, you've been in such a good mood lately, like you're so like delightful to be around. And I'm like, yeah, because you don't know what's coming. Damn, like bro. I'm gonna fucking off myself. And my wife knows everything. I've been very, very open about everything. And if anyone's listening to this and like you're having these thoughts too, like reach out, please, because I promise you it gets better. Like it is your own brain, and it's not that there's something wrong with you. It's just your brain trying to understand what happened and make sense of what you're going through and how to get past it. It's just simply an understanding thing. And you can be taught and walk through delicately through clinician work and be guided through this. And there is hope, and you do matter, and please do not kill yourself.
So what made you, okay, did you come up with a plan? Were you like, okay, tomorrow night?
Yeah. So
whatever.
I have a 1911 in my room, and like, we would get the girls down for bed. Like my wife would be in bed. She'd go to bed early because she would always have to wake up super early for work. She's like, wakes up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, just hits it. Mm-hmm. And like, there would be nights where I'd like go in there and I would like check the closet and I'd just like hold the pistol, and she'd be like asleep in the bed, and just feeling the weight of it was like empowering. And then I'd like hold the clip in another hand. I'm like, I'm about to fucking rock this through my brain. Like it was dark, but then when you're in that state, it sounded like a good idea. Like it sounded like, hey, do you want to come on the Jocko podcast? Like, hey, yeah, that sounds cool and healthy. Mm-hmm. Like it made sense to me. Like my brain was wired like, this is the answer and this is going to fix everything. And this is how I'm going to get out of this situation. Like it sounded like you and me talking right now. Like it sounded like totally normal and healthy. Like it is terrifying. Like one thing about the human brain is it can get rewired and just become a nightmare. Mm-hmm. And then I would get on my phone and watch videos of like dudes getting blown up in Iraq again. I was taking myself back there, like watching those old sniper videos of like the Mujahideen, like all the stuff that I'm sure you've seen, like from the other side, like, and just got like I said, like infatuated with it, and it was terrifying. So it finally came to a head. And I ended up needing treatment.
How did you, like, what was the turning point where you said, you know what, instead of me freaking killing myself, I'm going to, who'd you talk to? Did you talk to your wife, or what'd you do?
No, I took a bunch of gabapentin. I took a bunch of Zoloft, slugged
What's gabapentin?
It's used for several different things. My doctor prescribed it for like anxiety. Mm-hmm. So I took a bunch of it to like numb myself. I drank a ton of vodka, and I was gonna do it then, but I got so jacked up I couldn't go through with it.
And then
So I ended up getting transported to the hospital. And then in there, that's when my wife said, like, you need help.
Got it. So thankfully you got too freaking, you blacked out, you passed out, and then your wife, you need to go to the hospital. She takes you to the hospital, and she's like, yo, you need some freaking help.
Oh, I went in an ambulance. Like,
oh shit.
It was like the real deal.
So, so what is it? So what is the process now? What happened after that? So I think you say you went to Utah for treatment.
Yeah. So I ended up going to Utah for.
Why Utah? Like, you're in California. Why? Is there some special program out there or something?
Yeah. So it's a place called Deer Hollow. So I will say one thing, like the fire service in a whole has kind of made like the whole mental health thing, like kind of not taboo anymore. Mm-hmm. Like we're openly talking about it. And my department specifically, like, kudos to them. And I'm not trying to like blow rainbows up their skirt or anything, but like the notifications were made that like I had this incident, and they said, okay, send him to wherever he needs to get help, and we'll deal with everything later. Like, they put me off on leave. The proper notifications were made, and I got connected to this place in Utah that could help me.
Is there something specific about that place? Was it like veterans or?
Yeah, they help veterans, fire, EMS. Like, I got up there and they had like patches from all over the country, like with police, fire, EMS. Like, it just helps a bunch of like that community. And I got there, I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, I'm going to lose my family. I remember getting on the plane, like, what have I done? I've just screwed up my life. Like, how am I ever going to be able to like face my wife again, face my kids again? Like, lots of shame, and shame is just like something that's extremely toxic. It's out there in the ether. Like, it was very, very like embarrassing.
Did your wife know about like the suicidal thoughts, or did she just think you were just an alcoholic, you were being an idiot?
Yeah. She just thought I had a fucking problem.
Mm-hmm. And so now when you get up there, you check into this place, like what, you know, this process, and I think you said it was education and rewiring of the brain, but like, how do they do that? What does that sound like? What are they talking to you about? What does your day look like?
So initially it was you'd wake up, do breakfast, and you're all living together. And everyone has like different stories. So you'd wake up, you'd do your counseling sessions, your therapy sessions, and it was, have you heard of EMDR?
Is that the flashing red lights, or is it the magnets?
I believe what it's, I forget exactly what it stands for, but it's like a kind of like hypnotizing therapy where they wave your fingers in front of your face, and it's for like rapid eye movement. And it's supposed to like help you recall like events. And so up there,
I guess it was neither. I said flashing red lights or magnets. I've had a bunch of friends go to all different kinds of treatments, so I thought EMDR was one of those too.
And it sounds like a bunch of like, my wife calls it hocus pocus. She's like, if it works for you, that's great, but like that's like not for me. But they dug up a lot of stuff like from my childhood that affected me, that was like the problem. So like the Iraq stuff was just like insult to injury. It was like re-breaking an arm. So it was like, you need help from like your childhood memories. So then it went from like Iraq was like not even what they were focused on whatsoever, but living in the community, they're watching everything about you and how you operate. And they were like, yeah, your childhood was screwed up. Like you have serious abandonment issues. And like, that's why you joke so much. That's why you try and make everyone laugh, because you're scared that everyone's going to leave you. I'm like, oh my God. Like it's crazy what they did in that environment, but you're constantly around counselors for 24/7, 365, one-on-one counseling, talking to other members there. But it also gives you the time to like decompress and be like, what am I doing? They invited my wife up there. So she had my mother-in-law and father-in-law watch the kids. She flew up to Utah, and I didn't know that they were planning this. I was like, yeah, me and my wife are fighting, like obviously. We went up there and we did like a skit, and it was like, okay, like let's pretend like you two are in like a lover's quarrel. And like it started with a skit, and it ended up with like me telling, I forget like how it transpired. And she's like, well, what the hell? Like, why can't you just deal with your problems? I said, what the fuck do you want me to say? Do you want me to tell you that like for the past several years, I've wanted to blow my fucking brains out? Like, is that what you want from me? Like, and it turned into like this scenario to her, like leaving and crying. And we sat outside on like the lawn. I'm like, look, I am so fucking sorry that I'm like this. Like, you don't deserve this. Like, you as a person do not deserve this. Like, you don't deserve to be put through this. Like, we have children together. You deserve to be happy. And I'm not pulling my weight as a partner. Like, I feel terrible because I'm not pulling my weight for you. And I don't know why she stuck through it with me. But she did say, she's like, if you continue your shit, like if you don't get help and you're not honest with therapists, like you will, like, we're going to be gone. Like, I'm not going to have you around our kids because it was just so fucking bad. But like that 30 days up in Utah kind of like helped me decompress, constantly being around the therapists. That's when like the cat was out of the bag. I'm like, okay, I'm fucking suicidal. Like, they're like, okay, well, like what makes you think about that? So like what you were speaking about earlier, like why don't therapists like trap you? Well, now the secret was out. Like this guy gets on these like ragers where he just drinks until he's so numb that he doesn't think about his problems, and then he wants to kill himself. So they already knew the path I was going down. So like my guard was down. Like they already knew how to attack me. And they just broke it down like piece by piece by piece over the 30 days. And my wife came up. It was horrible. Like just watching her go through that, like, and knowing that she stuck with me. Like, I could never repay her for that. Like being the mother of my kids and then going through that bullshit and like just me being a mess. Why? Just because I have like fucking daddy issues from when I was a kid that got like perpetuated by like shit that happened in Iraq. And then I was feeling all sorry for myself, and like none of the shit that happened to me, if I would have been an adult about it and actually took it head on and said, I have these problems, this is a me problem and I need to fix it, I would have never gotten to this point. But I also think if I never got to this point, I wouldn't have the life that I have. Like now we had our son, our marriage is great. She's riding horses. Like I do not drink anymore. I take my medicine as prescribed. I'm honest with my doctors, be like, hey, yeah, I'm having some fucking down days. I'm like, okay, well, like, and now it's kind of funny because like now they're like, well, are you thinking about, and I'm like, no, I'm not. Like they're trying to defuse a bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Like we went to go see that warfare movie. My wife is like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. Because I can handle things. I just handle everything up front now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a long time ago, I had my friend Peter Attia on the podcast, and he was a ER doctor in Baltimore, in like when Baltimore was just like the worst area.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing that he said was that when families would like have someone get shot, right? If the family was like a little bit of a solid family, losing someone from their family would make them tighter. But if the family was like had little fractures in it, then having someone in the family get killed would make the family like explode. And I thought that was a very close correlation to like kind of what you're saying, which is people that you're in the military, you're going through something, or you're a firefighter, you're a police officer, or you're just going through life, and you have something in your past that's like a little crack, right? Like a little crack you had with your dad leaving and you don't know what the hell's going on. You're 8 years old. You have a little crack. And when you get put into the fire of combat, it's like all of a sudden that crack just opens up, right? And gets worse. And then it sounds like you not like just trying to pretend that the crack's not there and just act like it's not there and just kind of turning your head to it. It just gets worse and worse and worse. As opposed to going, oh, there's a freaking crack here. Yeah. I see it. It's getting worse. I need to get it together. I need to put some cement in there. I need to freaking fill it in and make it solid again. And I think that's a huge piece of it. And just the way you're saying this stuff, like being able to reframe the way you look at things, like, isn't it crazy to think the way your thought process was, hey, I've got a beautiful wife and 2 kids and a great job, and I don't deserve this. Yeah. Because my friends that didn't come home, they should be here instead of me. As opposed to, hey, I've got a great job, a great wife. I got 2 kids, now 3 kids. I'm doing my best to earn the fact that I got to come home, and I hope my guys are proud of me. Like that, those are 2 just totally opposing frames that you can put on the world that you're in. And do you think that, I guess this is my question, how do you grab control of that way, that frame that you're going to put on things? Does somebody external have to help you with that? Like how do you make that happen?
I think the factor for me was like the external factor. Like I had that event happen. I wish from the beginning I would have, because I always felt like it would have been like an impediment on my wife and the kids. Like, hey, I need to go get treatment. And she would have said, what, you need to leave for 30 days? Why do you get a 30-day vacation? And it was just, I didn't want to ask for anything. Like, I don't like being in the way of anything. I don't like being a problem for anyone. Like, one of my biggest like flaws is I hate asking for help. I even noticed that like in my day, like even in my job, like if there's something like dirty hose or something that I need help with, or like getting paid out, I hate inconveniencing people. And that's a me problem because normally people would want to help. Like, hey man, like, can you help me go, like, it'll go a lot faster if you help me, like come clean this hose or whatever. And, I just didn't want to be an inconvenience. I didn't want to get in anyone's way. And I think like what you're saying, framing perspective, it's 100% that, because it's not that I don't deserve the life that I have. I do deserve it. It's just, it's been a bumpy road to get here, man. And I wish I was honest with myself before, but I don't know if I would be here unless that happened. And I know that's very like contradictory and like all over the place, but it's true. It took me having a mental breakdown, wanting to end my own life, to get down to the foundation to like rebuild the home. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's true. Like families that are like tight knit, like Now with me and my wife, it's like, oh, okay, well, we can handle, whatever. Like the kids are getting sent home sick from school. It's like, okay, like, cool. We can deal with that. It's actually like made us stronger, but it's just the open and honest portion of it.
You talked about kind of like having bad days. First of all, what is a bad day? And second of all, what's your immediate action drill? Like, what's your contingency plan when something like that happens?
So like normally like a bad day to me would be like I just get overstimulated, especially with like 3 kids at home, like just shit everywhere. Things are just thrown all over the place. Something's broken. Like I just get overstimulated, and out of nowhere, I'll just get these like bouts of depression to where I'm just sad for no reason. And it happened to me like several weeks ago. My wife's like, well, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just fucking sad. Like I don't feel good. And it just comes out of nowhere. It comes in waves, and it's more like the hocus pocus. Like I found meditating when I heard about like meditation and like listening to like certain sounds. At first I was like, this is kind of like lame. And then I was guided through it by someone who actually does meditation and does like the therapy for meditation. And on Amazon Music, they actually have like Native American flutes.
Hell yeah.
So that's like what I throw on. If you search Native American flutes, I turn that on. I do meditation. I start doing grounding. Like, okay, I'm laying in. Usually I go in my room. Like I'm laying in my bed. I can feel my blanket. I can feel my pillow. I know walls are around me. I know I'm safe. Why am I having these thoughts, and are they true? The biggest thing is like, are they true? So when things would happen, like with the kids, be like, man, I'm fucking worthless. Like, am I truly worthless? And it's all about framing. It's like, no, I'm not truly worthless because I have a lot to offer, a lot to give. And you just start like breaking down those statements in your head. Like, I'm worthless. I'm a piece of shit. Like, I don't deserve to live. And you just kind of like take those head on and be like, all right, well, no, I'm not worthless because I do have a lot to give. I have a purpose. I do deserve to be here. I've worked hard to be here. And then you just kind of like live in the moment, and I try and clear my brain from everything and just think about nothing. And for me personally, everyone's going to be different. The grounding and the listening to like the Native American flutes or like the yoga music has helped a ton. But just trying to prove that everything that I think is wrong. Because as soon as you start poking holes in the dam, like eventually it'll open back up.
And just FYI, man, like I have 4 kids, but in my military career, I had 3, and then I had 4, the 4th one towards the end. But like, bro, you just got to deal with it. Like,
oh my
it's
God,
just going to be chaos. You just got to be like, oh yeah, there's just there's applesauce all over the computer keyboard. Awesome. There's a shitty diaper that's on my pillow. Oh, good to go. Like it's just that's just the way it is.
Like
you just got to get into it. Yeah, exactly.
Good. No, it's just wild, and I would get so worked up for the longest time, like trying to have a clean house. It's not going to happen. No. Like you're raking sand.
Yeah.
There's just shit it's chaos, and I'm trying to embrace it because everyone says like, dude, you're going to miss it once it's gone. Like the little feet running down the hallway, like like you will miss those days, and you're going to miss having the house like just a disaster. So I try and like embrace it. Like when I feel myself getting like worked up or like super sad, I just sit there and like sit around everyone and be like, look, like this is chaos, but we're in it right now. Like
the other thing is like when you say, you get sad, right? Or I guess you're using the word depressed.
Yeah.
For me, it took me a little while to like recognize and start telling people that's fine. Like, you lost some of your friends in combat and you get sad about it sometimes. Well, yeah, of course you do. Like that's totally normal and totally fine. And, it might be something that you see or something that reminds you or something that, good or bad, something good happens and you start thinking, well, why do I get this? Like, and it's just like, that's okay. That's just normal. It's part of being a human being,
Yeah.
I think that's one thing where people can get a little bit sidetracked is they think, wow, I was in combat 10 years ago or 15 years ago or 20 years ago. Why am I sad right now that this happened to this guy? there must be something wrong with me. It's like, no, actually, there's nothing wrong with you.
There's not.
Actually, you're just sad because you lost your friend, and it sucks, and you're thinking about him, and that's the way life is.
It's a good thing.
Yeah,
You're remembering them. Like, hey, man, at least they're being thought about. And you could carry on their memory, too. Like, it doesn't have to... Like, sometimes you just wake up, you're sad, like you were saying, and it's fine. You're a human being. Sometimes there isn't always necessarily a reason. Like, you just subconsciously, like I've said, like, sometimes I just get down, and that's fine. But, like, definitely I'm more self-aware than I used to be, because that depression would turn into self-loathing. Like, because I'd be like, oh, I'm sad. I'm such a pile of shit that I can't even be happy. Like, see, and it would just spiral. I'm telling you, man, like, I was like, it was bad because I would just believe everything in my head that I told myself. Yeah.
I like that. I like that little question you ask yourself. Is it true? That seems like it's like a little, seems like it's not that big of a deal, but actually if you start pulling the thread on that, is it true?
You start unwinding the ball of yarn.
Yeah, no, actually that's not true. I'm not a piece of shit.
Thank you, therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. They taught me that. Like, is what you're saying true? I don't know. They're like, no, it's not. So every time you have a thought, like, is it true? Like, am I really worthless? No, you're not. It's not true. You just have to make sure that anything that is in your head, like, it's not reality.
And you still go see a therapist on a regular basis?
Yeah.
How often?
Right now it's like once every 3 months, because everything's like kind of under control. Like, that whole event happened in August of 19. So like now I'm very open about everything. Like I said, I'm an open book. Like if anyone needs to like reach out, like hit me up on Instagram or whatever. Like I'll put my like Instagram ID or whatever. If I'm an open book, man. Like I think this stuff is very important. We need to crush the taboo of like mental health is weakness, because it definitely isn't. Because I'm not kidding. Like when I came out and I went back to work, and that was another thing, was like going back to work. I'm like, how am I going to be around these firemen after they know that I've just had like a mental breakdown and I had to go to happy camp for 30 days? Like how am I even going to show my face? But I'm not kidding. Like, say what you want about like going and getting therapy. I've had more people come up to me and like, hey man, when did you know it was time? Because I'm having these thoughts too. And that's what's important, is that we start the conversation around it. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, like I'm sad. Fuck man, I get sad too. You get like common humanity between two people, especially two people that have like the same life experiences. Like you and I were both in Ramadi. It's like, hey, it's okay that we both get fucking sad. Yeah, it's normal. Like what we went through was hell. When you feel like you have someone else that has also been through that with you, it builds a community. And for veterans, fire, police, EMS, like it's okay. Like it's okay to have some bad days, some down days, to have like terrible thoughts. Because what we do is you see the worst of the worst. And I just hope we break that stigma of like going and getting help, like eventually. And I truly believe that we're getting there, seeing like the younger generation of like firefighters and paramedics. It seems like they're more open to it. Yeah. And hopefully we will get there. And I will say, like, my department was incredible. Like when I went through my stuff, and it's only gotten better. We're more self-aware. They're more open to it. There's more programs out there. They're very, instead of reactive, proactive, which is good. And that it seems to be the case with departments all around the nation. And we hope it keeps going that way.
So firefighting, you say you work 72 hours on?
Yeah.
And then 4 days off, something along those lines?
And it depends on if you have vacation, or we'll have like a drop week, so it'll only be 48 days on.
So 72 hours on straight, and then you only get 4 days off. Like that's a lot of work in 1 month. Do you do that? That's the schedule all the time? There's no time where it's more than 4 days? And
it rotates. Oh, well, there's like when the fires pop off, like there's a thing called the staffing pattern, which you'll get stuck on duty for resources. The only thing that'll get you home is if you have what's called like annual vacation, like we call it AAV. So you'll get sent home if you have vacation. But other than that, it's just a hold all. But there it's like when all the fires are popping off and they need resources.
Do you get overtime?
Yeah.
So you work 40 hours straight, And then the whatever the other 32 hours you're getting overtime pay or no?
Our pay is all combined together.
So
So it's all
salary.
calculated together, and it's all like through our bargaining unit and like through the union. So we have planned overtime. So anything past that is time and a half. So the money's good, but like we're starting to see like the generation that wants to go home. They want to like have families and get time off.
Yeah.
So it's good. And like I said, our department, it's hopefully going in the right direction with like dropping another day and going to 48 on and then 96 off, or whatever the pattern will be, whatever it turns out to be. It's a move in the right direction, because they've noticed that it's hard on the firefighters. And I know everyone's like, oh yeah, poor firefighters, but like
I don't know, 3 days all the time over and over again. That seems like a lot to me.
Yeah, it can be, but it's a lot of fun. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Now, how do you like compartmentalize what you're doing at work? You're seeing people that are, ODing, getting hit by cars, suffering all these medical problems, plus fires and the whole 9 yards. Do you have some kind of a protocol for like separating what you're doing at work and not dragging that home with you?
Usually on my first day home, I'll like go sleep. Usually if I'm tired, it gets worse. It can like perpetuate things. So my wife has noticed it, like, hey, go take a nap. Like, you're tired. You need to go sleep. And like I said, I'm just more open about how I'm feeling. Like, I'll say like, hey, like I feel like really angry right now. Like, I just feel like amped up. She'll tell me like, go for a run, go out, go do something. Like, I'm more open with like how I'm feeling, when as before I felt like it was a problem. Like,
do you get a chance to PT when you're doing 72 hours on?
So 1 hour every day is dedicated to PT. So we'll like go to the gym. We have a gym at the stations. Some guys will go like play basketball, just have fun with it.
But if you get a call, obviously
then you got to go. And obviously like mission dependent, like if there's a big fire that breaks out. But, yeah.
And then how much sleep do you get usually, generally speaking, on a 72 hour cycle? How much sleep do you think you get?
There's some shifts where like it's super quiet at night, like where we're not getting that many calls. And then there's just some shifts where it's like pound town.
So
like
it's a little bit of luck of the draw. Like Friday, Saturday, I'm sure there's more at night.
Like there's times where like Tuesday, it'll be like a Tuesday, I'll be like, what is happening? Like there's no rhyme or reason. And like I said, I work in the city of Moreno Valley. Like that place is always busy and I love it. So it's just luck of the draw. Because you could go work at a busy house and run like, I remember why my wife came out and she rode out with us on the engine. We didn't run a call till 4:00. And she was like, I thought this place was busy. And I'm like, it is. Like typically, but of course she's there. Yeah. We don't run any calls. But typically you get really good at naps. It's like being in the military. I could sleep anywhere. Like at Warped Tour, I slept next to a fence. I slept on a tree. Like you get really good at taking naps. So.
And what advice do you have for kids that want to go and be firefighters? What's a good stepping stones? How should they make that happen?
Right now is a great time because just like everywhere, like in the workforce, they're just having a hard time like finding people. You could look at like your local fire departments. The Explorer program is great if you're between the ages of 14 and they say 21. If you're above the age of 18, try and get into like a reserve program. But looking at your local community college, seeing if they offer any fire science classes, go to your local fire department and be like, hey man, I'm interested in being a firefighter. Like I said, hit me up on Instagram. I'll send you the websites, whatever information you guys need. But now is a great time to try and get a job as a fireman. Because we've hit this like precipice of like the seasoned firefighter is kind of like a dying breed. Like there used to be this culture of like guys would work as a fireman, like just a straight fireman for years and years and years. And it was always respected. And now the population has grown so much and the departments are getting so big that guys are promoting a little faster. So we're having this like, in the interim, we're just having like a lot of movement and a lot of structure. And it's good because we're growing, but right now it's kind of like a dying breed. Like when so at my department, I worked on an engine for several years, and then I got to, like the big ladder truck with like the driver in the front and like the driver in the back. I finally made it to like the driver in the back. Well, my fireman, Sean Tauscher, he's like, if you took a computer and you built a fireman, like that was my partner. And then I'm this goofball paramedic that like comes along and be like, hey, I'm on the fire truck now. And it was like being in Iraq, man, like trying to learn the scouts jobs and like trying to follow along. Like, I never realized how bad I was at my job until you're with someone that is like a master of the craft. And then I was with guys like Dallas Smith, Matt Bryant. He's a big jiu-jitsu guy too. Nice. So my captain that I worked with, he's a blue belt. He's kind of a big deal. Heck yeah. Loves your show too. So he's going to love the shout out.
And you were what, firefighter of the year?
Yeah.
And how'd you manage to get firefighter of the year?
Oh, they ran out of people. So they ran out of people to vote for. Definitely wasn't based on looks. That's for sure. I like to be organized. So I like to come up with like trainings and things, and I kind of put myself out there. I'm on like a training cadre with like the new hire firefighters, and I think your peers just slowly noticed that kind of thing, and they took a vote, and luckily I won it.
And then you're also teaching at a community college? And you're teaching what, firefighting?
Paramedics.
Paramedics.
So I help teach, I'm an adjunct faculty, and then I help teach new paramedics and EMTs wherever I can fill. I don't do that as often as I would like, but I go in there whenever I can. I love it because it like rejuvenates me to back when I went to paramedic school and how much I loved it. Like that was probably one of the best years of my life being there. And seeing those kids and like how excited they are and like all the questions that they have, they're like, well, what happens when you do this? And you're like, oh, like, it's cool. Yeah. It's fun. And just seeing like the new generation, like coming up, I will say like the younger generation, they're so technologically advanced and so smart and quick with recall. Like you could sit these students down and be like, tell me everything you know about magnesium. Tell me everything you know about calcium chloride. They'll bam, bam, bam. They're like smoking them like out of the water. But if you sit them down in front of a Vietnam veteran and they have to do this, like talk, like total collapse. They don't have the interpersonal skills because to no fault of their own, they grew up with cell phones and texting. They don't have the element of human connection that like our generation had.
You can see that, huh?
Oh, 100%. They blow us out of the water with smarts, but it's the hard part is applying like what they know in the book and being so analytical into real life. Like, or knowing when like someone's gaming you, like if someone's trying to like pull one over on you, just like the street smarts of it. Like, you know what I mean? If someone's being a smart ass and like not answering your questions, like that's where I see students like struggle. So we'll take paramedic students and it's like, dude, like you have the knowledge. It's just applying it. But I love teaching because it reminds me of when I was like that too, like learning like, oh man, I can't wait to get out there, that excitement and that drive. Because like if we could just harness like the younger generation of like paramedics and firefighters, because they're excited, they just need direction. And it's just helping them and guiding that enthusiasm. And especially with like the fire department, I hope we implement like a search culture. And what I mean by that is victim rescue first, like a victim rescue first mentality. So over the years, like, especially with like the economy and like how people are having trouble finding employees, like the fire department is no stranger to that as well. Like we're like collateral, like we're having trouble finding people too. And like I said, like the dying breed is still the dying breed of like strong career firemen. So we're getting like these newer guys, and in the fire department, we've kind of taken like a defensive posture, like to where we're quick to pull the trigger on like, all right, let's just go defensive. Like, let's not like really risk a lot. But so by implementing a search culture, just aggressive search tactics when we pull up first on scene to a structure fire, like that should be our first thought. And that's what I'm trying to like push to this younger generation. And I love it because it's out there. They just need the guidance and like the backing from like, they need like the support from it, so and when understanding it.
So when you show up to a fire and your first instinct should be like, we need to make sure there's no one in there.
Yeah, let's just make sure. Like, don't be so quick to pull the trigger. Like, let's just go defensive. Like, hey, let's get in there and do an aggressive freaking search. Like, let's do victim search right now.
And some of that judgment's based on what the structure is, right? If it's nighttime and it's in an industrial area, you're like, yeah, there's probably no one in there. But you're like, no, we got to search it anyways.
It's all knowledge, skills, ability. Like, if you've been there, done that before, you know the layout of the land. Like, hey, this is in my first due. Like, I know this building super well. The homeless population usually hangs out like back here. Let's go search. Like, let's get this search mentality back. So the younger generation loves it. We just need to guide them in that direction. And that's what I hope for. Like, I get excited about it, man, because I love it. Like, that's the best job in the world, was being on a truck company and like getting off and doing a search, like a nice, like not nice, but like a good aggressive search, and just having an aggressive fire culture, even with paramedicine. Like, let's be aggressive with it. Like, let's make a difference with these patients. Like, it is the worst day of their life. That's why they called 911. Let's give them the treatment that they deserve. Let's give them the medicine. Like, let's be aggressive as a culture. So it's just hoping to instill that, because I hope to leave the fire service better than I found it. And luckily I've found out that I love teaching as well. Do I have all the answers? Absolutely not, but I'm pretty good at finding them out. And like, no, by no means am I like a martyr, or am I speaking on behalf of like all fire departments or anyone at all. This is just my personal opinion and what I see and what I hope for. So I hope no one's like, hey man, what's this guy talking about? This is just what I see, and that's my hopes, and purely just my personal opinion.
No, it's awesome.
I want to be aggressive.
Yeah, no, I got friends in the fire department, and I've worked with fire departments all over the country, really. And my company, Echelon Front, goes and works with fire departments, and love seeing that attitude of like, we're going to fight the fires.
Yeah.
We're going to make things happen. And that's badass. And it's
break doors down, get a good interior attack going, get horizontal ventilation going. Like, let's rock this thing. Like, let's put this thing out. Like, let's not just let it burn to the ground. Like, let's get in there, guys. Like, talk on the radio, coordinate this thing, and put it to bed. Yeah, and the firefighters, the San Diego firefighters, saved my gym. You know, the building. I mean, it got damaged, a lot of damage, but they fought that fire. I mean, they went inside. They had guys on the roof. They had to do, what'd you call it, vertical. Yeah, like horizontal ventilation. That's when they're on the roof, or like
they cut big holes in the roof to get the heat out of there, so that the firefighters could get close inside. Like, they did a full debrief with me, walking me through the whole thing, how they fought it.
You're turning me on.
Yeah, it was pretty freaking legit.
Yeah,
dude.
Just some roof ops.
Yeah, dude, they went up. It's all repaired now, but I mean, they were up there with the chainsaw, sawing big holes through it all. Man! And they were in communications, because the guys that were in the fire, they couldn't get close enough because it was too hot. So they had to call those guys like, more holes, get more of the heat out of there. And they were able to save the building.
Heck yeah. A coordinated attack. Like, so that's what we're talking about. Get holes in the roof, get lines in, coordinated attack, get it over with.
You could see when they took me in for the debrief, you could see where they were running their fingers along the wall. Like, there was a big mirrors in the locker room, and you could see there's soot all over there. And you could see where they were following the wall, because they couldn't see shit in there because it was too smoky.
Oh, heck no.
So
that's what's scary, is like going into them, like your visibility is like super low. So you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. I love it, man.
I worked with the fire department, and I didn't do it, but they have like some kind of, I don't know what they call it, but it's like a maze.
Oh, confidence box.
Yeah, confidence box.
Where they get you
through there, and
they get you trapped on purpose. Like, when we do it, we'll like tie stuff around like their breather, like their bottle, like to get them trapped, because it's all about like what we've been talking about. Like, I'm okay. Yeah. Like, I'm okay. I just need to like back up, pull it off my bottle, and like get through this.
Yeah. Have you ever seen one of those things, Carrie?
Negative.
It looks like, like a little rat maze, but it goes up and down, and like little tiny holes you got to get through, and they fill it with smoke. You could see it's not one for a claustrophobic dude. Like, tight spaces.
It's fun. I'm a big dude, but I love stuff like that. It's fun. And like they'll have like a slide on it. They'll put objects, like we have barrels that we'll push over. It's cool. Yeah. It's just meant to show you like that you are safe in your gear, to get that confidence that when you are putting out your gym, like you are safe, like trust your equipment.
Yeah.
It's badass, man. Like I have a lot of hope for like the future of like the fire department, fire EMS. Like, it's a great culture. Right now is a great time to get started in it. So if anyone's aspiring, please like reach out. I'll give you whatever I have.
Right on, man. Right on. Awesome. Does that get us up to speed? That's where we're at. What's your Instagram you were talking about?
My Instagram is AREOHBE84.
What the hell does that mean?
Oh wait, it's 1984. So it's my name phonetically. ARE is R, OH is O, BE is B. So it's like
1984.
Yeah, 1984. What do you mean? What is that? You have a guy on here named Echo Charles.
That's true, but that's his actual name.
No, I know, but what kind of name is that? Yeah, it's 1984. So
AREOHBE
BE 1984, or just search Rob Black on Facebook.
Got it.
I don't know everything. I'll never claim to know everything, but I can help whoever.
So we got the before we wrap up, we got the 1/1 AD Ramadi reunion taking place in January of 2026. Everybody that was there and spouses and Gold Star families are all invited to come. There's been, guys from basically every unit. We're been in contact. We're having meetings, getting it all set up. General McFarland's,
that's a big deal.
He's still in charge.
I know.
Yeah, and just awesome. And it's been very cool to reconnect with a bunch of those. And that's how I got in touch with Dan Pinion. I got a few more guys from Ramadi lined up to come on the podcast. But if anybody's listening to this that was in Ramadi, please look up. It's a Ready First reunion, and look it up. There's a Facebook, there's a website. Trying to get people to register right now. There's an Instagram. It'd be awesome to see you all down there to see everyone again. It's been wild, because there's we have these Zoom calls, right, with all the dudes, and some of them were like enlisted guys, but some of them are the commanders, and everybody in between, and it's wild to sit down and you haven't seen these guys in almost 20 years because it's a 20-year reunion. And you haven't seen these guys in 20 years, but it's just like I have the instant feeling that we're in a brigade meeting.
It's like nothing's changed.
Yeah, it's like there you are. Yes, sir. Roger that. We'll work on that. Who's taking lead on that? Yeah, it's just like boom.
Isn't it funny how the leadership is still the leadership? Even 20 years later, the role players are still doing the role playing.
Yeah,
I had no idea. Like what we were saying, going into Ramadi, I didn't even know what a cop was. What do you mean we're building combat outposts? What the heck does that mean?
Dude, I cannot believe that was your welcome to the Army. You're gonna train up to be in an aid station. Oh no, actually no, you're gonna be the Brigade Recon Troop. What does that mean? It means you're gonna be going out and going in Overwatch position. It's just nuts, man.
Yeah.
And seeing what you've done and seeing you look what the struggles you've gone through. I think a lot of guys have been through that. And it'll be awesome to sit down and meet and greet with a bunch of people that we haven't seen in 20 years.
Oh, absolutely.
I know you said you haven't logged in for your vacation time yet.
We bid in October.
But let's go.
Oh, absolutely.
Somebody give this guy some time off up there.
No, I'll get it.
It's going to be freaking legit.
Yeah.
So people can find you. There's your Instagram, AREOHBE 1984. Carrie, you got any questions?
I did have one question. So, Sayison, White Album, Anthony Green. What are your opinions on that album?
I just saw Anthony Green at When We Were Young. Still got it.
Right on.
He's in a new band. I forget what it's called. We saw them. They opened up for Taking Back Sunday and The Used. We went to that concert on the Friday night.
Yeah.
But
Circa Survive, maybe?
So that was his side project.
Right.
Circa, man, you're taking it back.
Yeah.
So I love the song 7 Years, Bury Your Head. They Perched on Stilts. Oh man, love it.
We actually caught me and a buddy of mine caught a Circa Survive show.
No way.
In LA a few years back, and it was awesome, man. Anthony Green still got it for sure.
Good energy. He puts on a good, he's just an energetic dude, and his stage presence is really good.
100%. What's the playlist looking like now? What do you got going on?
For me?
Yeah.
It's the same garbage I've been listening to. So, I'm so stuck in the, if I try and get into new bands, I'm I'm just going to go back to what I love. The Rufio, still Yellow Card, Blink-182, all the
right on
typical bands that I still love.
Nice. I got caught up in, post-hardcore 2003 to like 2009.
That's what's
hardcore,
on my phone.
and that's just you mentioned a Day to Remember too. Freaking stellar.
The all-time low.
Yeah,
Me and my wife saw Avril Lavigne last year.
That's awesome. Yeah, I did definitely a little bit of the Used too.
Oh, we saw them live with Taking Back Sunday. Holy smokes.
So sick.
Incredible. Like one of the best shows I've ever seen.
That's awesome.
It sounded like the album. Like it was, when you see bands and sometimes it's like disappointing, you're like, man, that kind of sucks. Yeah. It sounded like the album. They were incredible.
Right on. Yeah, I went harder, the harder route, but definitely those guys were in the mix.
Yeah.
On the chill days, throwing on some ASN or anything.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Big dick over here. My bad.
No.
Jeez. Sorry.
So I went a little harder.
Yeah, sorry. I like real music, guy. I'm putting up 225 for sets, bro. My bad.
Repping it
Speaking
out.
have you guys had a carb since the Bush administration? Like, Jesus Christ, what are you guys eating, elk over here? Like, God damn.
Elk and milk.
Yeah, just fucking beefy. God, make me insecure.
Jack, what else, Carrie?
That was it. Yeah.
Nothing else?
Yeah,
no
thanks for coming out.
freaking deep Ramadi questions? I always wondered, like, for you guys, for like you sitting here, because you've been hanging around for so long and just, sitting here with someone that was seeing, like, my guys from the outside and what did we look like? I'm always curious, like, what was that? You kind of gave us, some of that today, like rolling into
organized.
It's always cool to like get another piece of the picture as somebody on the outside looking in, where we hear from the task unit bruiser guys, right? And then we hear from the leadership, General McFarland, and some of the other key leaders. And then we hear from some of the Marines and the Army guys that were on the ground. And it's just all these different perspectives that paint this picture of what it was like in the Battle of Ramadi. One of the things that you brought up today that I thought was super cool, Rob, was what it was like to go meet with and plan with the SEALs. We know what it's like from the bruiser side. I feel like as a listener, you've described how you presented that to the bruiser guys, where it's like, hey, we're going to be squared away. We're going to be in uniforms. We're going to have haircuts. Everything's going to be super squared away. But to see it from the Army perspective too, where it's like, oh shit, we got to wash our stuff and make sure
you're going into the SEALs talk, like you're being invited in, so you're like, oh shit, like I hope we don't screw this up. And then you need to instill that, like, can we trust these turds? Like, if we show up and we look like a bag of ass, they're gonna be like, these are the guys watching our outer cordon.
Well, what's funny is that's exactly the same thoughts we had. Like, we were like, we need to show these guys that we're squared away.
Oh,
and the other thing is like, we looked at you guys the whole time. We looked at all the conventional units like, oh, cool. We're going to go do an op. It's going to take us an hour. Maybe we'll do an Overwatch. It's going to take us 24, maybe 48 hours, maybe 72 hours we'll be out there. And then we'll go back and we have air-conditioned spaces, and we got, my guys had the video game freaking thing set up, and we got decent chow. And it's like, oh, yeah, when we're back, you guys are going to go back out again. And then you're going to go back out again. And then you're going to go back out again. And so we knew that you guys were just getting after it every single day, and that's why we had so much respect for you guys, and that's why we did everything we could to support you guys as much as we possibly could. I know I got some more battalion commanders coming on in the near future, and it was the same thing. Like, for us being in a SEAL platoon, like we got 30, 40 SEALs, you know what I mean? When we're doing a big operation, it's 30, 40 SEALs. When we're going to battalion op orders where there's 700 freaking dudes going in, Iraqi Army, U.S. Army, 30 or 40 or 50 armor pieces going in, bro. It's like you're in a movie. Like, I was in heaven. I was like, this is freaking
well, that's
epic.
What you guys live for that.
Yeah.
Like, that's why you guys join the SEALs.
Yeah. It was... No, and I talked about this with General McFarland, but everybody feels the same way. It's like the inter-service rivalry that you hear about is like just was not there. It's like, what do you guys need? How can we help? We're here to support. And that's the way it had to be. That
is true. Like the humility amongst like the co-ops, like how everything was working out. Like, at least, and I was very like, Dan's going to give you the perspective from like the leadership and like how he was running his platoons. I was just, the only thing I needed to worry about was like, did I have rounds in my rifle, and did I have a couple IVs and some Band-Aids?
Yep.
So it just like filling in those gaps and like giving the different perspective. Like I hope I provided that.
Oh, for sure. And we've had a few of the frontline dudes here, you know, just frontline soldiers that were out there getting after it, and then getting after it some more. That's what you guys were doing. It was freaking. It was. We watched in awe as you guys did your thing. So anything else, Kerry?
No, sir.
Freaking epic. Rob, any final thoughts, brother?
I just hope if anyone is listening, do not give up. It does get better. I know it sounds very like you've heard it before. During like my darkest times, I did rely on a lot of my friends that I've had like lifelong friendships with, and they were all there for me. I could never repay them for what they did for me, my wife, my kids. Like, there is hope. Do not give up. You aren't a worthless piece of shit. Like, it's okay to be depressed. It's okay to have good days, have bad days, and it happens. And it's going to keep happening over and over again. Like, it's a lifelong journey with this like mental health crap. And we can all get through it together, like as a community, military, fire, police, EMS. Like if we all band together, like there's nothing that we can't do. God, that sounds super like lame, right?
Yeah,
it sounds like
it also sounds super true.
No, it truly is, but
like,
it sounds like very gimmicky.
You know, we just talked about being on the battlefield and how it's like, hey, whatever you need, we're there. We'll support each other, and it's the same exact thing you're talking about.
It truly is, and my Instagram's out there. I'll give you guys like my information if you want to put it up. Like if anyone has any questions about like the fire department, EMS, getting into it, if I can help in any way, shape, or form, like at least guide you in the direction, because I never have all the answers, but I will try and find all of them. I have a lot of resources too, like a lot of friends that could help me out as well.
It's awesome, man. Well, great final words, man. Don't ever give up, man.
Never.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing your experiences. It's just awesome to see you. Thanks for your service in Ramadi. As I said, man, it was an honor to watch you guys. It was an honor to serve alongside you guys and know that we were mutually supporting each other on the battlefield, and we can still mutually support each other now.
Absolutely.
So we'll never forget you guys. We'll never forget the heroes that you guys lost. And thanks for your service in the fire department as well. I know it's a hell of a job. And thanks for continuing to lead and serve to this day, brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on, and thank you for this opportunity. I truly appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And with that, Rob Black has left the building. Freaking awesome to see him. It's going to be awesome to see all of you that served in Ramadi with us down in Texas in January. Come to the reunion, the Ramadi reunion. It's going to be epic. Seeing everybody, they got music planned, they got events planned. I think there's some kind of golf activity going down. So if you can, try and make it happen. It's going to be really cool. It's been very cool to see all the a bunch of the people on these Zoom calls that we're doing. So if you can make it down, look at the Rob, great guy. Clearly had some struggles, had some stuff to get through, and like he said, don't give up. And like he also said, we support each other on the battlefield. Let's keep supporting each other. Let's keep supporting each other. So if you were there with us, if you're a Gold Star family, please come down to Texas for the Ready First Ramadi reunion. We look forward to seeing you there, and that's what we're doing. Also, I know that Kerry, you've been struggling a little bit lately. Not so much with mental health, but more with trying to hit your protein activities, right? Is that what we're doing?
Well, struggling in a good way, I would say. Mm-hmm. It's not like a bad struggle, We're just trying to hit goals, and sometimes that's challenging.
Because Rob was talking about the beef in the room, right? Rob was talking about that. So what are you trying to hit protein wise?
So 200 grams, trying to hit 200 grams a day. And a while back, I started.
So what are you going with? 1 gram per pound of lean body weight or of ideal weight or something like that?
Roughly.
That's what you're doing?
Roughly. But 200 grams, I started tracking it again a little while back. Mm-hmm. I go through these phases, right, where I'm like super dialed into my tracking, and then life happens, right? We get busy. So started tracking again, and I noticed that my protein was way down. I was, getting like 120, 125 grams just because I'm only eating 2 meals, right? I'm skipping breakfast. I'm doing like a big lunch, big dinner type thing.
How many grams were you getting? 125?
Well, it was roughly 125 because it was 2 portions of meat a day, right? And
one of those portions wasn't a 4-pound steak, a 4-pound piece of ribeye.
And that was before, and you throw like a protein shake on top of that, right? So that gets you to like 130, 130 grams. It's like, well, we got to get those numbers up.
Those are rookie numbers.
Rookie numbers, got to get those numbers up.
So how many mulks a day does it take to get your numbers?
So I'm kind of fortunate, right? Because I'm at the Jocko Fuel media offices, and we kind of got the goods, right? So I can get
that stash, boy.
So we get that.
You know what I texted the other day? Or you in the office?
Yeah.
You know what I needed?
What?
I needed Jocko Fuel.
Yes.
I was low. I was low on iced tea lemonade energy, and I was just gonna be like, bro, I'm gonna swing by there and grab a little something.
Get that stash. Yeah.
I ordered it. By the way, if you order Jocko Fuel right now, like I ordered 4 cases of iced tea lemonade to go.
Let's go.
And it's here. It's like here in 3 days, something like that. So we got you covered. So are you making those kind of super power shakes too, like protein shakes with? Yeah. Do you put 3 scoops in?
I've triple scooped, and so it's RTD usually in the morning or early afternoon, and then in the evenings before the meal, I'll hit another like shake. Blender style, and double scoop for sure. Sometimes you get crazy, get that third one in, but that helps with consistency too. You get that like milkshake.
What flavor are you going?
Chocolate all day.
All day.
I've been heavy on the chocolate train. Yeah.
I got some. Have you tried the Pro Series yet?
I've tried the pre-workout, and I gave Ashley at Jocko Fuel like a 4-paragraph feedback.
Because you were so hyped.
I was so hyped, man. It is insane.
The protein is it's really, really delicious. So we got a Pro Series coming out. Anyways, all the stuff that we're talking about, you need some fuel, you need Jocko Fuel, you need energy, you need hydration, you need protein, you need cold protection, immunity protection. We got you covered. Go to jockofuel.com and check that out. Also, you can check out originusa.com. I know, so I sacrificed my Chelsea boots, which Echo is upset about, apparently. I never would picture Echo. First of all, it's hard to even picture Echo wearing any types of shoes at all. If he is, he's wearing those, whatever those Converse, like, elastic Chuck Taylors.
No laces. Hell yeah.
That's what he sports. Or slippers, flip-flops as we call them. But in front of him, I gave you the Chelsea boots. Bro, he's holding a grudge.
I watched it on his face, like as you passed me the boots, like his expression kind of dropped. He was upset.
But they're working out for you?
Oh, dude, yeah. So we had a little date night scenario the other day, and I had to shoot you a picture afterwards because those are so clutch. And I'm not a super fashionable guy, but little button up, whatever, short sleeve button up, some jeans, and I throw on those Chelsea boots, man, and it is game over. Compliments from G Money on those. So yeah, big fan. Those Chelsea boots are insanely comfortable.
So yeah, they are comfortable. I did try them on before I gave them away. They're just not really my, to say I have some style of some kind is kind of a weird thing to even say, but they're not something I would be wearing, right? So I'm not going to just have them sitting there in my closet. I wear the mock toes kind of, that's what I wear right now.
Uniform. Yeah.
And then obviously Origin jeans all day. I got my wife got a pair of the test pair of female Origin jeans. So those are coming, and they're like, my wife was freaking pumped. She was like, dude, these are great. These fit perfect, and blah, 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 blah. So we got some ladies jeans on the way. I think we're going to run like 3,000 or 4,000 pairs, something like that. Oh, yeah. So we'll let y'all know. But the thing is, the stuff's made in America, of course, 100%. So you don't have to have something that's embedded with a communist threads.
Communism free.
Yeah, it's communism free, 100%. So there you go, originusa.com. Hey, speaking of fashion, you're wearing a Jocko store shirt, the Sugar Coated Lies shirt. What what is that? Krispy Kreme or something?
This is
the gank.
This is a rip of the Krispy Kreme logo, but this is actually a shirt locker shirt. So this is one of the kind of cool designs that you will see in your shirt locker subscription. And of course, this one especially, every time I wear it, people are like, "Where do I get that?" Gotta let them know.
Let them know, shirt locker. Check out jockostore.com if you need anything to wear. We got you covered there. Books. I've written a bunch of books, but also, once again, Daniel Pinion, Command Sergeant Major, retired. He wrote this book called Chop That Shit Up, which is the best title. And when you get the story behind that title, you'll know what it's all about. But check out this book. You heard some of it today with Rob Black. Also covered it on the podcast, but check out the book, man. Great book from a great guy. And then Echelon Front, so we talked about some of the things that we experienced in Ramadi today. And, there was a lot of lessons learned. A lot of lessons learned from a leadership perspective. And we took those lessons and we eventually started teaching these lessons learned to, originally we taught them to SEALs. And then once I retired, we started teaching them to civilian companies and teams and whatever. So they caught on because they're effective. They're proved in combat and they'll work no matter what leadership endeavor you're into. They will help you. So echelonfront.com, we got leadership consulting, we got events that we do keynote speeches. We will help you in your leadership journey and it'll improve every aspect of your life. And then also embedded in Echelon Front, we have extremeownership.com, which is an online leadership school. And so many people, so much good feedback on it. So leadership is everything. Leadership is everything that you're doing. If you're interacting with other human beings, you're leading. So check out echelonfront.com. Check out extremeownership.com. And we got you covered. Also, if you want to help service members, we lost Mark Lee in Ramadi on August 2nd. And Mark's mom, she turned that into the most positive thing you could imagine, which is her charity, America's Mighty Warriors. Incredible organization, helps out so many veterans. If you want to help or you want to support, you want to get involved, go to americasmightywarriors.org. Also check out heroesandhorses.org. Again, you can hear the struggles that Rob went through. It's tough. Tough when guys come home. And heroesandhorses.org takes veterans, takes them up into the mountains. I think it's a 41-day vision quest. You get a horse and then you break the horse or whatever. I think they call it breaking. Maybe they have a nicer word for it now because it's different. They do it in a different way. It's like you build a relationship with the horse and the horse starts to trust you. And then you can ride the horse, and then you ride the horse in the backcountry for 41 days of Montana. It's freaking awesome. Great impact on people. So check out heroesandhorses.org. And then Jimmy May's got an organization, Beyond the Brotherhood. Again, it's beyondthebrotherhood.org. It's taking guys that got to get out of the SEAL teams that need to move on to the next chapter of their life. So you can check that out as well. If you want to connect with us, so here's Rob Black. He made a lot of real generous offers, for people that want to reach out to him, whether you need some help, with your mental health, need some help getting into the fire department, becoming a paramedic, EMT, whatever. He's obviously a super generous guy, and he's on Instagram, and he's at AREOHBE 1984. And if you want to connect with us, you can check out Jocko.com. And on social media, I'm at Jocko Willink. Carrie's at Carrie Helton. Just be careful. Don't waste a bunch of time on there. It'll wreck your life. Once again, thanks to Rob Black for joining us. Grateful for your service as a firefighter and as a soldier. It was a hell of a fight there in Ramadi. The fact that you were 21 years old and you and your crew just stood tall and took the fight to the enemy. It was an honor to serve with all of you. Thanks to all of our military personnel out there around the globe right now, with a reverent salute to the soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines of the 81st Brigade Combat Team for the blood, sweat, and sacrifice in that God-forsaken city. Thank you for what you did over there, and I hope to see all of you at the reunion in Texas, January 2026, 20 years. I'll see you there. And finally, thanks to our police, law enforcement, firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, dispatchers, correctional officers, Border Patrol, Secret Service, all of you first responders out there every day, just like Rob Black, in some cases with Rob Black. Thanks for keeping us safe here at home. And for everyone else out there, just remember what Rob closed out with. Don't give up. Don't give up. There's going to be some high points. There's going to be some low points. They're going to come. They're going to go. But don't, no matter what, don't give up. That's all I got. Until next time, this is Kerry and Jocko out.